It's time for Shawn and Maya in the morning.
Quick pitch to Walter, looking for the record, cuts back, he's got it, he's out of it at 25 to the 26-yard line. Walter Payton becomes the National Football League all-time leading rusher. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship. Chicago has won the Stanley Cup. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it, throw to Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this TGI Mickey Ficky Friday. It's the weekend, baby. It's a cold weekend here in the Chi. Guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra. I'll tell you what, I got a hell of a lot more energy. Woo, Charlie. I got some energy today, and I'm fired up. Hey, guys, thanks for tuning in, man. I'm telling you, it is a beautiful day here in the Chi. It's brisk. It is brisk. It's the low 40s right now, but you know what? The not a lot of clouds in the sky. I had to just check outside for a moment real quick, and it's just this is the way to get the weekend started. You know, you got a lot of people who are upset about the fact that it was 70 last weekend. Well, guess what? It's not 70. It's November in Chicago. That stuff usually doesn't happen very often, and it doesn't. So let's get used to what it is normally, and let's go with the flow and enjoy this beautiful weekend. Guys, listen, if you're watching this on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. Now, you can also, if you're watching this on the app, make sure you download the app if you're not watching this on the app. You can get it wherever you get your apps from, whether it's Amazon, Google Play, iTunes, wherever you get them from. You can get it there. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Okay, SportsZone Chicago. The app is named SportsZone Chicago as well. Guys, you could also tweet the show. You can tweet us at SM_mornings, at SM_mornings, or at SportsZone Chi. That's CHI, at SportsZone Chi. Now, if you want to follow me, just me, personally online, want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. Want to know what I did? Here's what I did. I made a nice and easy for you, folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, the Snapball. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. Want to follow my lovely co-host, Maya Akai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at the Sports Chica. You want to follow her on Instagram, could you do it just for the gram? Just follow her at Maya_Akai. It's MAYA_AKAI. Listen, we got a great show, but we need you to get interactive with us today. So you know what? Whether you're watching us on our app, whether you're watching us on Facebook Live, or whether you're watching us on our YouTube channel, it doesn't matter. Just leave a question or comment right there on the post. My Puerto Rican Swiss Army knife himself, Ivan Vargas, will put it on the screen and we'll talk about it. We'll incorporate you. We want to incorporate you in the show today as we have a phenomenal show as usual. You know what? Let me bring him out real quick. So I know he's got a lot of work to do, and I would be remiss if I didn't. So let's bring him up, man. He's my Puerto Rican Swiss Army knife himself. He is the man behind the curtain, the whiz, we call him. He's Mr. Do-It-All. Mr. Do-It-All himself, Ivan Vargas. Ivan, what's up, Papa?
Good morning, Shawn. What's going on?
How we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I was watching that game last night. It was like, man, like it was a complete flip for the Indianapolis Colts. That Colts team is scary, dude. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know this is Bears country, but I was talking about that Colts team coming into the season, and I was thinking that they had Super Bowl on their mind. And I mean, barring anything else, like that team's gonna be a contender. It's gotta be one. They gotta be like neck and neck, especially on defense. I think that they can compete with anybody on defense, especially with their speed. You're on mute.
I don't know why I wasn't unmuting. I don't know why. I was hitting like, okay, come on, unmute. Damn it, unmute. Anyway, hey, I know you got some work to do, but I just want to give you a proper introduction like we did. Guys, listen, we got a great show for you at 10 o'clock. Man, first and foremost, 9 o'clock, because 9 comes before 10. My man, he's already, man, he's got his professor look today. What do you get? Look at my man. Oh, he's G'd up. Our man from the Chicago Crusader, Joseph Phillips himself, is ready. He's in the background. He's in the back, just ready to come out and shoot some Pythagorean theorems at us or something. Whatever you're going to shoot at us, I don't know what you're going to shoot to it. You're going to give us some homework over the weekend, Professor? I don't know. We'll see. Hey, what are you going for tenure? Is that what you're doing? Looking good, Papa. So Joe Phillips coming up at 9 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, we got my man. Glad to have him back. I know he's in the middle of e-learning, e-teaching, so he hasn't been able to come on with us a little for a while. But he made an exception for me today, and I appreciate it. Matanuco, he was on from Sports Mockery and part of the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast for a while. Great baseball guy. He played in the White Sox minor league system. So we're going to talk a little bit about the MVP. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. I am fired up about that. So Matanuco at 10 o'clock, then 11 o'clock, our guy, the draft doctor himself, Phillips, and we are going to go deep into some Bears conversation. And listen, let me tell you something. I'm not being braggadocious when I say this. This could be the best Bears conversation you will hear this weekend. It very well could be. Phil and I are have a pretty high football IQ. When we get together and we start talking, it's church. So you're not going to want to miss that. Phil's coming on at 11. So, man, and my man Joe Phillips at 9, he's ready to roll. We got my guy Matanuco at 10, talking a little Jose Abreu. Pito. I am fired up about that. And then my guy Phillips, the draft doctor himself, coming on at 11. Did I tell you we got a great show? Was I bull-jiving or was I bull-jiving? Come on. I told you. And they know half-stepping. Oh, man, we need some Big Daddy Kane right there, don't we, Joseph? Ain't no half-stepping. It's a Friday, baby. We got to finish strong. Hey, it's not how you start. It's not how you start, baby. It's how you finish. We're going to finish the weekend strong. Well, listen, guys, you know how we do the first segment of every show. It's called Top of the Morning to you. And these are the hot topics of the night before, or just the sports in general. And boy, oh boy, do we have some doozies. And with that, the Top of the Morning segment is powered by the Chicago Crusader. And with that information, let's bring him out. He's looking like Dr. Huxtable again, or Professor Huxtable, what I should call him. You can find him on Twitter at ACA Joe. Let's bring him out, my man, Joe Phillips. Joseph, what up, Papa?
What up, Papa? God bless.
Dude, I'm loving it. You're going for tenure or something, brother.
Oh, man. Now, here's the deal. I am a substitute teacher on the side. So, so I can't talk about that. I do teach 3rd and 4th graders on the side.
Oh,
and I love them. I just haven't had a chance to get back into Ancona School, which due to the COVID-19 situation. A lot of e-learning going on, but if everything opens back up, I'll be back teaching part-time, as a teacher. But this is my birthday weekend. I wanted to look professional. I'm about to be 42 on Sunday.
Oh, damn. Pinche viejo, míralo.
That's 21 2 times, and I was just playing. Two times. So we in the building. I got my man Shawn Sierra in the building. I got my man Ivan in the building. We all in the building, so let's just have fun,
Good, man. Hey, I look forward to it.
Also, Shawn, actually, can you put APB out? I'm looking for a PS5 right now.
Okay.
Anybody's selling a PS5. My wife wants to buy it for me for my birthday. So,
okay.
If you know anybody, please send me the number. Sorry.
No problem. I'll make a phone call or two when it's all said and done. I'll make a phone call or two when we're done. I can't promise anything. I'll just say, I got a guy, but again, I don't want to promise anything. I don't want to say something. The next thing you know, people are calling me, hey, you got Joe of PS5. I want one. And then the girl's going to come on. Hey, how you doing? I talked to you in like 8 months, but I'm gonna give my man's a PS5. Can you hook it up? No.
Hey,
No.
son, he's like, I got a guy that know a guy that know a guy.
I only got so many favors, baby. I got so many favors, and you definitely ain't done nothing strange for some change to earn that favor,
I feel like Muhammad Ali. I'm looking for you, PS5. I'm looking for you.
Oh man, do you got any big plans this weekend?
Oh man, they're throwing a Zoom birthday party for me, my family. Tomorrow, we're gonna do a Zoom birthday celebration because me and my sister's birthday are like 5 days apart. So they're gonna celebrate the both of us on Zoom tomorrow. And people are gonna send their wishes. They doing the Cash App thing. They're gonna bless me with some love, some cabbage and
chicken.
Take care
of your chickens, take care of your mentals.
It's cabbage, so that green cabbage. And then also on Sunday, man, my wife, she's gonna prepare a steak dinner with some shrimp.
Oh, surf and turf.
I'm just like, I just bought her the Ninja. You heard of the Ninja?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just bought that, man. I bought that for her for a little early Christmas present. So she cooked.
It's awful nice. You hear, woman, cook some stuff.
Yeah.
Merry freaking Christmas. Now get in the kitchen.
Nah, you gonna give me a chicken, man.
Hey, if I do, it's all out of love, bro. It's all out of love.
Hey, you gonna beat me down, bro.
Hey, see, I don't have anyone to beat me down, so I'm good.
Oh, she coming, brother. Trust me. You watching the show right now.
It's all right. You could come meet me in Chicago Heights.
Your missus is coming, bro. Trust me. I already know.
Oh no, God, I'm scared.
Like,
all this freedom I've had my whole life.
Sounds like you coming to slow me down? No, I'm going super back. It's like have a seat. Have a seat.
I know, Superback. Sit your ass down. Sit your ass down, Mr. Superback. Shut up. I'm telling you, all this freedom, I don't even know what to do I'm like, who you? Dude, I'm telling you, real quick story. So my boy, my roommate from college he's a card man. He's hilarious, and we were talking one time, and he was like, dude, this was some years ago. He's like, dude, you don't even understand. He goes, marriage. He goes, marriage is when a woman or when a person gets to talk shit to you. He goes, who has someone talked to you like that before in your young age, you would have beat their ass. But you look at them and you're like, I'm gonna go over here.
Right. Well, you look at them and you say,
I'm going over here.
You gotta say, I love you. That's all you can do, because you better not kick off nothing, man.
He was like, he goes,
you want peace? If you want peace in your house, man.
That's what he said. He goes, dude, he goes, first of all, he goes, she said some stuff to me that I would have been like, what? I mean, I'd have thrown them hands. He's from New York City. He's from Queens. He goes, we'd have thrown them hands, son. I'd have thrown them hands, son. He goes, she said that. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go over here right now. I'm gonna go over here right now. He said,
my wife is so sweet, man. I just, like I said, my wife and I, we just keep that peace, man, and that's a beautiful thing to have a peaceful household. But I know
that's what I heard. Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, I know the flip side of that too, because it's no joke. But I don't wish that on nobody. So,
you know what? I had a couple of, not very many, because I couldn't deal with that, and they were short lived. But I had relationships where they were very volatile, and I'm like, dude, I don't want to be arguing with my lady. You know what I mean? I don't want to come home. I don't want to come home and hop on a phone or we meet up and I go to your place, you go to my place, and we fighting. Like, I need you to insulate me from the rest of the world. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's what I need. I need you to calm this whole craziness down. You know what I'm saying? Not add to it, not throwing gasoline to the fire. No, calm it down.
You have to give it a Rocky speech. I need you to need me. No,
you're a fool. Hey, well, let's get right to it, baby, because we got one hell of a top of the morning, man. Guys, you know how we do. The first segment of every show is top of the morning to you, and the first top of the morning topic, man, we got nowhere else to go but this. Jose Abreu, baby, he comes through. Jose Abreu wins the American League Most Valuable Player award yesterday. I'll tell you what, Pito. Let me tell you something.
Where it is.
Don't do it. I know it, you son of a bitch. Don't do it, Ivan. I knew you were gonna do it. I knew you were gonna do that, you son of a gun. Listen.
Who told Jose to do that?
Oh, Jose, see, you gotta understand.
I asked that same question, Joseph. Who the hell told him to do that?
Bump you, Ivan.
Jose's a cool guy, man. He doesn't like somebody put him up to that. He didn't know any better.
You know, because he didn't. He's it's a different culture. He's just dancing, and you know, Latinos love to dance, bro. So don't even trip. Black, Hispanic, Cuban, Dominican, Puerto Rican, man, just throw on some music, and sometimes they got music in their head. They just start dancing. So that might have been what happened.
Like I told my wife last night, I said I love Latino people. I said there's some of the most polite people. Like the most polite. Their language is beautiful, and they're always polite. And I'm not saying that they not hard enough like that, but whenever I'm out or I'm working with someone of that nature, whether they're elderly, etc., they're always polite. They're always respectful.
Like black folks, man. A lot of most black folks are polite, man.
Yeah,
that's because they will. The hell, God's fury will rain down on you if you do not say thank you in the house.
That's right,
man. First of all, a lot of Hispanic, especially Caribbeans, they're black anyway. Okay, but I could speak from my own self, man. Let me not say thank you, or let me not say please. Let me not say yeah. Let me say yeah. What Ma called me.
Right. I teach my son. I don't play that with my son. I told my son, whenever someone give you something, you say thank you. You hear me, boy? No, I'm just playing. But
you hear me?
No, but he's like, okay.
You know what? It's a culture. It's a lot simpler culture, and all in all, they're great people. Mexicans, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, they're all family first. And manners are huge. Being a respectful human being is very high on the priority list of Latinos. And and I love it. And he's one of the greatest guys in the game right now, and he's so deserving of it. I mean, he led the American League in games played, so he played in all 60 games this year. Right? He led the American League in hits. He had 76 hits in 60 games. Right.
What was that moment though that made the difference? We always talk about it. What was that moment that you thought in the season? One of the moments that I mentioned when I thought he won the MVP.
Yeah, that Cubs series.
That
Cubs series, dude. He was on fire, dude. He hit 6 home runs in a 3-game set, and you're like, dude, stop. Not one, not two. Remember, he hit 3 homers in the one game. And he hit the 2 homers. Oh, you were there? And then he hit the homer to the last, just for good measure. I was like, God bless it, dude. This dude is on fire.
I was there that Saturday night. I was there the second game. I don't know if he hit 1 home run in the second game, but I was at one of those games. It was either the Saturday game or Friday. It was the Saturday game. But I didn't know when it was over for us.
Man, let me tell you. I couldn't be happier for a guy. He led in slugging percentage. He led the American League in slugging percentage. Total bases 148, RBIs 60. He had an RBI a game. This Joker average an RBI a game for 60 games. He finished second in home runs with 19, and 11 of his 19 home runs, because he finished with 19 home runs. 11 of his 19 home runs came when the White Sox were down 1. Now, you tell me, how much more clutch can you be?
Bro.
How much more clutch can you be?
Bro, I haven't seen anything like that since I played a short season on MLB The Show, bro. And I'm just being honest with you. You know how if you played a short season on MLB The Show, and you got one guy that's crushing the ball, just crushing it. You just like, man, if he could do this in 60 games, just imagine what he'd do in 162 games. But that's the type of season Jose Abreu, he almost had like a simulated season. His numbers was just perfectly laid out. I mean, 60 RBIs in 60 games. 20 home runs? He had 20 home runs? 19 homers. I gave him 20 just to give it to him. But here's the deal. At the end of the day, he's the American League MVP. Shout out to Jose. great way to bring the trophy back home to Chicago. Not since Chris Bryant in 2016, winning the National League MVP. Since we had a MVP in Major League Baseball. So shout out to Jose. Keep up the good work. And being another first baseman winning the MVP. So 2 first basemen won the MVP this year.
Yeah, you know what? And it was there was DJ LeMahieu. He was up there. Martinez, I believe, was another one up there. So of the 3, and each of them was well deserving of it. I am a little biased. I wish I wanted Jose to win this because of his body of work. I think he is the consummate professional. And now there's only one thing left to do for him, and that's win a World Series. I mean, you talk about his baseball career being complete. He's one of 28 people in the Major League Baseball history to win the Rookie of the Year and to win the MVP. Unfortunately, Luis Robert will not be the next one because he lost the American League Rookie of the Year due to his fall off the last half of the season. But to have Chris Bryant, another one of all those guys, Rookie of the Year, MVP. Okay, he's got the World Series trophy. So I mean, if his career ended today, I'm talking Chris Bryant, like he's done everything you need to do.
That's what I was telling people. Like, I think they did a poll. They was like, who you think is robbing Chicago franchise for money? And somebody was like, Chris Bryant. I was like, no. I said, first of all, that money was deferred to him. Like that's money that they owe.
He's still underpaid, that joker.
Yeah, he underpaid. So not to take away from Jose, but hey, the next step for Jose is adding that World Series championship, and
that's it.
Triple crown, baby.
That's it. That's literally all there is left for him to do. And he can go out, live in Cuba somewhere, or he'll stay here in Chicago. You don't want to go back to Cuba. I mean, Cuba's gorgeous.
Right.
But they want your money. The socialists.
Like, yeah, you got to pay up, buddy. We got you over here. That's the reality.
But I'll tell you what, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. It couldn't happen to a guy who works harder. It couldn't happen to a guy who has really kept his nose clean. He stayed on the straight and narrow. He does like to go out, but he's not one of those guys that goes out and gets crazy.
Right.
Okay. He you got to understand. And for people to say, well, I've seen him out in this and this. Hell yeah, you've seen him out. All right. The dude comes from Cuba. The dude had no money. He didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. Okay. And all of a sudden now he's one of the best baseball players, he's the best baseball player. He's the league MVP this year. Yeah. Of course you're going to see him out the last couple of years. You know why? This is Chicago. Chicago's the best city in the whole God blessed world. And so when you come to a place from a place like Cuba to a place like Chicago, and there's a huge Hispanic market here, a huge Hispanic population here, and it's Mexican, and you got Puerto Rican, and you got Dominicans, you got Cubans, and you want to go out and there's Latin music and there's Latin food and there's that, man, heck yeah, you want to get out there and experience the town that you live in, the town you play for. But you've never heard of any DUIs. You've never heard of any domestic abuse. You've never heard. The only thing domestic was when he was hoping his son could get over. That was it. That's the only thing. Remember, he was struggling too, boy. You talk about a lot on your mind. People don't understand. It's not that easy when you're in a communist country,
right? And
you get out,
right?
The people you love behind are left behind. They can hold them hostage for you, and it's again, I'm so happy for this guy. You talk about putting in the work, and that's why I'm so happy that they kept him, because not for what he can do, and I'm thankful for what he can do, but the way he's about to instill or has instilled the worker, the way to prepare as a professional for these unbelievably talented guys like a Yoan Moncada, like a Eloy Jimenez, like a Luis Robert. Okay, like those guys say, listen. Many of those guys look up to him because he was a god in Cuba for the Cuban national team. Okay, especially Yo-Yo and Lou Bob. Okay, and when you sit next to a guy that you've idolized, and he says, "Look, this is how you come to work every day. This is how you prepare for work every day. You think Yo Moncada started having a good year last year in 2019 because he just happened to be that good? No, that compounded with the fact that you got to work, son. And Jose Abreu shows these youngsters how to work, how to prepare. And when you get that on top and add their uber talent on top of the preparation that they're undergoing every game and then every offseason for the season, I mean, now you're looking at just straight up no frills superstars. Okay, because talent with the work.
Now here's the next question I want to ask you, Shawn.
Mm-hmm.
Has Tony 2 times give him a call yet? You think so?
Nope, I don't think so. I think he needs to. It's gone far beyond what the time frame that I would have given it. But he's got to reach out. He's got to reach out. He's got, if for no other reason, to congratulate him. But I mean,
right.
He should have reached out and said, "Hey, listen, I'm excited to be working with you." Blah blah blah. Again, Tony speaks Spanish, so he could have a conversation in Spanish. Okay, he needed to reach out to Jose Abreu first and foremost. Tim Anderson is the second call he makes, and said, "Hey, listen, you know what? And talk to him. Talk to Tim Anderson about the things that are important to Tim Anderson. That's being expressive, and that's allowed to be you, allowed to express your creativity and just allow yourself to have fun, and let him know it's okay with you. Let him know it's okay." And Tony, and this is a bad optics. And it's getting worse by the day. Every day that Tony La Russa doesn't call them, now he's making him look like a jagbag because now you're coaching an American League MVP. Okay, and I know you've coached him before. You had Mark McGwire, you had Albert Pujols, this is your National League MVP. You had McGwire and Canseco and Pujols. I get it, I know, but it doesn't. There's a process that you do, and out of respect. Yes, I know you're a Hall of Fame manager and you deserve tons of respect. But you know what? Give the players the respect that they deserve too, because you're coming into a situation where this guy can be your best friend. This guy can really help get your agenda pushed, okay, and have a little backlash as possible. Because if he buys into you because you went out of your way to say, "Hey, listen, congratulations, blah 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 blah, MVP and all this other stuff. I'm happy to be working for you. I'm glad to be here to help you, and you know, I'm very honored to be able to manage you. I think you can be like the I can't even think of Pujols. I think he could be as good, if not better than Pujols, and this. Now you tell him how you feel, then man, he's going to run that locker room for you, right. And that's one thing you don't have to deal with. So it's a shame that he hasn't reached out to them, and it needs to happen soon, very, very, very soon. Hey, Joe, listen, we got to take a quick break. And on the other side of the break, we have more top of the morning topics. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago. Waiting for one thing. Hold on. No, I forgot to. I think I haven't got caught up with something, so we gotta.
Okay. I was just like, okay. I feel like I'm Ron Burgundy. I was like San Diego. Good morning.
Hold on.
BoomerNaturals.com presents the Sports Flash on 1330 and 95.9 The Zone. Looking ahead to Sunday's NFL action, Kansas City has the bye week. Green Bay's home against Jacksonville this Sunday, while the undefeated Steelers host the Bengals. Big matchup on Monday night for Chicago when they host the Vikings. The Bears are 5-4, Minnesota 3-5. The Bears looking to snap a 3-game skid as they also try and maintain a grip on second place in the NFC North. The other NFC matchup this weekend has 3-5 Detroit hosting 2-6 Washington. Baseball's MVP awards were handed out on Thursday. In the National League, Freddie Freeman of Atlanta takes home the gold, while White Sox slugger Jose Abreu took home the American League Award. Boosted by the 4-time All-Star, Atlanta won the National League East for the third straight season, while Abreu helped power the White Sox back into the postseason for the first time since 2008. Boomer Naturals, your source for 3-layer protective face masks. Breathable protection for adults and kids. Save 20% with promo code SPORTS at BoomerNaturals.com. Chuck Sanders, that's the Sports Flash, 1330 95.9 The Zone.
eBay has gifts that say a lot, but don't cost a lot. So save big on a DeWalt drill set for dad that says, let's get to work. Tell your all-star niece it's time for takeoff with Air Jordans at not-so-sky-high prices. And get a certified refurbished Bose soundbar for your husband that says, we're going to need a bigger home theater. Say a lot, save a lot on gifts from eBay for those who mean a lot.
Sale alert at Banana Republic Factory. Take up to 75% off everything, plus an extra 40% off. Save on comfy faves like cozy sweaters, soft hoodies, and more. Find your nearest store or shop online only at Banana Republic Factory. The Friends and Family events begun at Gap Factory and GapFactory.com. Get 50% off everything right now. Plus, shop new doorbusters, including our Gap logo crew neck sweatshirt from $20. Find it all at Gap Factory or GapFactory.com through November 12th.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago on this TGI Mickey Ficky Friday, baby. It's the weekend, baby. It's a little nippy out here in the Chi, but you know what? It's November. What the hell do you expect? Can't have 70-degree weekends every weekend in November. That just wouldn't be right. Not here anyway. If you want that, better go down to San Diego where you can pay out the nose for a house and an apartment. Go ahead, just go down there. It's about 70 degrees every weekend. Just it'd be nice living in your 550 square foot house at paying $750,000 for it.
Meet Ron Burgundy while you're out there.
So you know what, I'll tell you what, I'm so happy for Jose Abreu. And don't forget, at the top of the hour at 10 o'clock, Matanuco is going to call. We're going to talk, and he's a great friend of the program. Good to have him back. He's been e-teaching, his kids. So they might even make a cameo today as well. He decided to put that on hold for a second today because he's a big Jose Abreu fan. Matt and I he's been rocking with me for the last 3 years. And I love his analysis. I love his I love it. He's a former professional baseball player. So when you get that type of a breakdown and analysis, it's second to none. And I loved it. And that's why I'm very thankful that he's been rocking with me for the past 3 years. So good stuff. We're going to talk to him at the top of the hour about MVPito himself, Jose Abreu. Well, the next top of the morning topic, the White Sox are sticking with Tony La Russa. He doubled down. Here's the perfect chance to say, hey, listen, you know what? We made a mistake. We did this. Go after Sandy Alomar. You know what I mean? There's a chance. And Jerry Reinsdorf is the old dude who owns not one but two sports franchises, and he's in the process of saying, you know what? It's my team. I'm going to I trump everybody, pun intended, and I'm going to make this call. And you know what? It is such a bad look. I just saw this thing, and I'm going to share it. I'll send you the picture. It's a picture of Frank Gallagher from Shameless. It says, "Congratulations to the new White Sox manager."
Oh, wow.
One of the guys from Rita did that. Wayne, one of my brothers, Wayne Porter.
Okay.
I was like, dude, that's jacked up. Funny as hell, but still jacked up. You know what? This has to stop. Put it this way, it doesn't have to stop. You can continue you can move forward and win, and everything will be fine and dandy. But it's just not the good look. It's not the way you want. White Sox fans, this is definitely a right cross out of nowhere. That you it leaves you scratching your head as to why now. You know, why wouldn't Jerry get involved in any of the other hires for manager? But now that the Sox are good and now he wants to bring this guy back, it just doesn't make sense. Okay, he had a chance. He has a chance to say, "Hey, listen, you know, we've decided to go our separate ways." He's got his legal issues. No, they knew about it beforehand. They knew before they hired him that this news was coming out, and he doubled down and said, you know what, he deserves." He came up with some BS, and it's a shame. I'm trying to find out exactly where. It must have been on the other one, but people they went on Twitter. It said, "Here's the first Twitter reaction." It says, "I'm effing embarrassed to be a fan of this team. Hashtag fire LaRusso to make this right, or I and many others will no longer support this team financially." That should get Jerry's attention. Okay, then a lot of people saying, hashtag step down Tony, hashtag change the shame, you know. But in Reinsdorf's mind, dude, you're dealing with a guy who's 70. I don't know how old is Jerry, but a guy who's a billionaire, dude. He doesn't care.
Yeah,
doesn't care.
I was actually watching The Last Dance last night, my wife and I, and
yeah,
I was just listening to some of the things that was coming out of Jerry Reinsdorf's mouth. You know, like he is never yielded to the fans' request. Like he's always he's done things his way, and if it's not on his terms, he can care less about what you're talking about. Now, if you just so happen to agree with him, then cool. But other than that, I've never seen him yield to a fan's request. He does things when he wants to do things, and that's how he runs the organization. He runs the Bulls. Actually, he ran the Bulls the same way, but I think he started to take his hands off of him and hand it over to his son. But with the White Sox, I can see the same thing happen. Like he's actually controlling the narrative from top to bottom.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's his team. It's my team, and I could do with it what I want. Is his attitude.
Yeah. Jerry Jones style, you know.
Bingo.
Jerry Jones does the same thing. Yeah, you can keep talking, but I signed the checks, okay?
Except Jerry Jones is more in your face, and he's more defiant about what he does.
Yeah.
See, Reinsdorf isn't saying anything.
Yes.
Okay, Jerry Jones is saying, "This is my team.
Right.
I'm running this. I'm doing this. I'm this. And there's no question who runs the Cowboys. None whatsoever.
Jerry Jones is definitely the extrovert out of the group. Reinsdorf is the introvert. He like to do things through stealth. You know.
Yeah.
This is one of the boldest moves I've seen him make. Far as just doing his handprint on everything. Normally he used other guys to do his little moves, but this hire was strictly Reinsdorf. Hands down.
So we'll see how it plays out. I hope it works out well. I really do. I really, really, really do. Next top of the morning topic, the Atlanta Braves. Freddie Freeman.
Freddie
wins the National League MVP. You know what? This guy, Maya talked to us about the Atlanta Braves at the beginning of the year. She had said, watch out for this team. Watch out for this team. They are good. Maya's like, she likes to watch baseball, period. Just baseball, whatever it is, American League, National League, didn't matter. She loves watching baseball. And she warned us about this team, warned us about the Atlanta Braves. And Freddie Freeman wins the National League MVP. Hats off to him on an unbelievable season for him. And let me tell you, this young Atlanta team is built very similarly to the White Sox.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of talented young guys, 25, 20, 26 and younger on this Atlanta team. And man, I tell you what, there could be some Chicago, Atlanta, Chicago, LA World Series in the near future.
Right. And they aren't going anywhere.
No.
And shout out to Freddie Boom Boom, as I call him, Freddie Boom Boom, like the Welcome Back
Carter, Freddie Boom Boom Washington. Hi there.
Boom Boom Freeman. Okay. So here's the deal. My man Freddie, I knew he was going to win the MVP after I watched his son go deep on one of the videos of the World Series. Oh, he's producing a future Freddie, a future Freddie Boom Boom. And this guy was hitting everything coming down the middle. He was hitting pitches, above and beyond his waistline. The guy was amazing throughout the season, and he was professional about it. Even through the loss to the Dodgers, they were up 3-1 in the series. And they didn't put them away. But Freddie was definitely the MVP from start to finish in the playoffs.
Yeah, congratulations to him. Moving on, next top of the morning topic, your boy, Yu Darvish, finishes second. He finished second in the Cy Young Award. Remember, Trevor Bauer just won it the other day. And second was Yu Darvish. So we definitely want to give him his kudos, give him his props, give him his accolades and the respect that he deserves for finishing second in the Cy Young Award winning Cy Young Award race. And I'll tell you what, and I know you didn't win it, but you still finished second. That's an unbelievable accomplishment, especially where he was at mentally 2 seasons ago.
Mm-hmm.
Where he was at mentally 2 seasons ago to where he is today, and he's finishing second in the Cy Young is night and day. And you know what? As long as if he can continue to play and pitch the way he's pitching, he's gonna be up there again next year and the year after that and the year after that, and he'll win one of those years.
And now that contract is looking very good right now. We did get a bargain on it due to the Houston Astros cheating scandal, because actually that lowered his contract rate during negotiations, because he's actually going to get more if he would have won that World Series that year. But it lowered the market on him, and the Cubs was able to get him for a discount price. And even though it's a lot of money, but we were able to get him for a discount price and sign him long term in replacement of Jake Arrieta. And now, he has his focus back, and I'm not seeing him. He's no longer afraid of strikes down the middle. And guess who helped him? You'll be surprised. Guess who helped him? Guess who he said helped him?
Who?
Trevor Bauer. The Cy Young winner. So he was saying, man, just throw strikes. That's it. Get back to throwing strikes. And Yu has been dealing, changing the speeds and everything. So, hey, it's well-deserved for Trevor Bauer, because he took his own advice, won the National League Cy Young Award, and then he always helped Yu Darvish win it. So shout out to both of those guys, man, working together as a team off the record.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff. Well, the next top of the morning topic, Rick Renteria finished second in the American League Manager of the Year voting. I thought it would have been perfect if he would have won the American League Manager of the Year. That would have been the best. That would have been the best, but it didn't work out that way. Congratulations to Rick Renteria for finishing second. And your boy, David Ross. David Ross finished third in the National League Manager of the Year award. He was one of the finalists. And I'll tell you what, man, just to have 2 Chicago managers up there, it showed what a great year we had. And I know it didn't, the regular season, I should say. It was only 60 games, but the fact is the Cubs, you guys won the division. We are atop the division late in the year until our collapse. We were there. It's just a good omen for Chicago baseball moving forward. I just think that this town is ready for 2 two teams in baseball's postseason on a regular basis, and if that can happen, I don't know, 5 out of the next 7 years, where they're both in the playoffs, man, what a great feeling that would be here in the Chi, to know, like, okay, now, because at one point you're going to have all sports. You will have all sports going on at the same time, because you'll have baseball will be postseason, you'll have football season starting, you'll have basketball season starting, and you have hockey season starting. Once everything gets back to their regular schedules, due to COVID. But once you do that, there are a couple of those times. And unfortunately, it was just for one baseball team for you guys back in 15, 16, 17, even 18. Okay. We're going deep we're in September, and we're talking football. We're talking baseball. You know what I mean? We're talking NBA getting ready to start. There's just a whole bunch of different things at that time of year when all sports could be going on at the same time. And I think this town deserves it. It's just the third largest market. It's got the best fans in the world, and to have both baseball teams on a consistent basis, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, this as I say, it's the 4 sports food groups. Baseball, hockey, basketball, and football. So you can't go a day without them, man. And I'm so glad that we achieved so much in so little time. I would have liked for the Cubs to go further this year, but hey, unfortunately, we ran into a hot Marlins team. And then in addition to that, I was cheering for the White Sox too, because I wanted to see a crosstown classic World Series. And they ran into an Oakland team that got hot in the middle of the playoff, due to their inexperience, due to the White Sox inexperience.
Yeah. And that was one of the things that I had said. If you remember, I'm like, I think the Sox will contend. They'll fade at the end. And they did. It's just that they were still they were able to secure a playoff spot before they faded. So once they secured it, I was like, wow, we're going to the postseason for the first time in 8 years.
Like, we're going to the dance. Hey, you know what, Shawn? Can I share this with you?
Yeah, man.
I was watching some yesterday, and not to get off the subject, but the Fighting Illini basketball team, be on the lookout for them. That's all I gotta say. Just be on the lookout for them. I love Illinois. I love Illinois basketball. I've always fell in love with Illinois basketball since the Flying Illini. But this team that's coming, I'm telling you, man, be on the lookout for them.
Yeah.
Please, man, be on the lookout for them. They're gonna be number 1 in the Big Ten again, and they're gonna be top ranked. And they got these kids from Morgan Park, brother. No joke, man. Adam Miller, no joke. I covered him, man. 40 points, easy. 30 points, easy. The real deal.
You got to get back into. We got Alex Acevedo saying Superback. What's up, Alex? The one thing that the U of I, and trust me, I would have gone to U of I. I would have gone to U of I had they recruited me, and I wasn't good enough for those pieces of sorry. But and believe you me, the Superback down to U of I would have been fun. But you got to open up the pipeline to the Chicago Public League. They haven't had that since Jimmy Collins left back in 88, 89, and he went to coach UIC, and he had the kids from Westinghouse. And so that is a team, that is a pipeline that will generate you constant it'll generate you constant talent. It'll generate you deep runs into the tournament every year, because there's no better place for high school basketball in the country than Chicago.
Yeah.
And there needs to be that pipeline reopened. I was talking with Bobby Reed via Twitter, via text, and he was saying the same thing, and I was like, man, I said, like, we just got to keep the top kids in state. And I'm like, think about it. If you keep all the top kids in state, that means U of I is going to be good. That means DePaul is going to be good. That means Loyola is going to be good. That means Northwestern is going to be good. That means Northern is going to Southern, Eastern, Western. Think of all the different schools, okay? Because you have different tiers. You're going to have your blue chips, your Cliff Alexanders. You're going to have your Jabari Parkers. You're going to have your Kendrick Nunns. You're going to have those guys, okay? Keep them in state, and then you're going to have a tier below them. Okay, then you're gonna have a tier below them, but you know what you're not. Well, you know what you're gonna have. You're gonna have guys who don't quit. You're gonna have guys who play defense. You're gonna have guys who have this unbridled energy about them, because when it comes to playing basketball in the city of Chicago, there's nothing like it. And it is literally a war. South side, west side, south side versus south side, west side versus west side versus south side. It doesn't matter.
Right.
The amount of passion that these young men have when they're playing. I mean, basketball is life for that. Some people don't understand that because they don't understand that basketball is a way out for so many of these kids. Right. And if you come from a 2-parent household, you're not going to have that same drive.
Right.
And that's no disrespect to kids who come from 2-parent households. But when you're in a situation like that, like, this is my only way out.
Right.
This is my only way out, because I can't read very well. I can't do this. I have a mom who's this. I got three or four or 5 or 6 younger brothers and sisters that I got to take care of.
Right.
You're not going to have that same. You're not going to have that same drive, that same energy toward it than a kid who's with 2 parents and coming from the middle class.
Right. And another thing about Chicago basketball players, they're not afraid of the moment.
Never. No, you're right.
Afraid of the moment.
I was going to say that was perfect, because I wanted to say, like, majority of the high school basketball games you see around the city of Chicago, they're like, some of these games they're big programs, and some of these games are damn near like college games. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're that exciting. Like, they're that exciting, and they're that talented with the players that are on the court and the coaches and the coaching staffs, that they're like college games. Like, these kids are college ready.
Yeah.
When they're in high school, they're going from high school, like, as far as mentality, a basketball mind standpoint, some of these kids are ready to go to college right there, maybe in their junior year. You know what I'm saying? And go ahead and contribute to a college team. So it's like the level of basketball and the basketball knowledge that's just like in and around the Chicago area is just, I mean, it's almost infinite, because every time you see a new year, it's different teams, but it's like you always see the consistent with Chicago basketball. Fearless, in your face, and won't back down.
And I'm going to tell you this as a sports writer, and I know we got to wrap up. This is a sports writer. There was times where I had to cover the Bulls one night, and I'm like, man, I want to cover this Morgan Park Symbiont game. You see what I mean? Like, I know I'm going to get better basketball watching these two teams go at it. The Battle of Vincennes, I wrote stories on that. So my whole thing is Illinois is somebody to look at. They got the freshman of the year as far as when it comes to the center on that team, and they got 2 skillful scorers and a lot of shooters around them. And they added one of the top point guards in the league. So they slowly but surely, the Orange Fighting Illini, I guess they call it the Orange, not the Orange Crush, but the Fighting Illini are slowly coming back into prominence. It's just something to look out for.
Man, if they do, I'm telling you, if they can, that'd be great. I think and I've always liked the University of Illinois. If Lucky can get that football program turned around, in addition to the basketball program, it's a great thing. There's just Illinois is one of the states that is so talented with young student athletes. Basketball being the most, but there's also a hell of a lot of good football players as well. Keeping them in state, man, would be a coup. It's a very difficult task. But the way you start doing that is you start winning. So, I'm looking forward to that, and I hope that they're able to make some noise in the Big Ten and on the national stage in the dance. So, cool. Well, listen, hey, Joseph, great stuff, Papa. You have a great weekend. Happy birthday on Sunday. Hey, at least the Bears can't lose for you on your birthday, so thank goodness for that one.
Yeah, I'll be prepared for Monday with the Bears game. So y'all do one of those pregame shows, just let me know. I'll try to have my Bears gear ready.
All right, bet.
Win or lose.
All right, listen, hey, you have a good weekend, and we will see you on Monday. See you in about 69 hours, 70 hours. Yeah.
All right. God bless, Papa.
All right, man. Have a good one. Listen, we got to take a quick break, and on the other side of the break, I'm excited to bring in my guy, Matt Anuko from the Pinwheels on Ivy podcast, and we have a lot to talk about. And the reason I wanted him on was because he and I have been talking about Jose Abreu for the last 3 years. I think Matt's been rocking with me for 3 years, and we just talked about the work ethic and the desire to be phenomenal that Jose Abreu has, and for him to finally win the league MVP. I couldn't think of anyone better to have and discuss this with. So guys, make sure you keep it locked right here. Don't go anywhere. On the other side of the break, Matt Anuko with some good Jose Abreu talk. We'll see you on the other side of the break. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago.
BoomerNaturals.com presents the Sports Flash on 1330 and 95.9 The Zone. Looking ahead to Sunday's NFL action, Kansas City has the bye week. Green Bay's home against Jacksonville this Sunday, while the undefeated Steelers host the Bengals. Big matchup on Monday night for Chicago when they host the Vikings. The Bears are 5-4, Minnesota 3-5. The Bears looking to snap a 3-game skid as they also try and maintain a grip on second place in the NFC North. The other NFC matchup this weekend has 3-5 Detroit hosting 2-6 Washington. Baseball's MVP awards were handed out on Thursday. In the National League, Freddie Freeman of Atlanta takes home the gold, while White Sox slugger Jose Abreu took home the American League Award. Boosted by the 4-time All-Star, Atlanta won the National League East for the 3rd straight season, while Abreu helped power the White Sox back into the postseason for the first time since 2008. Boomer Naturals, your source for 3-layer protective face masks. Breathable protection for adults and kids. Save 20% with promo code SPORTS at BoomerNaturals.com. Chuck Sanders, that's the Sports Flash, 1330 95.9 The Zone.
eBay has gifts that say a lot, but don't cost a lot. So save big on a DeWalt drill set for dad that says, let's get to work. Tell your all-star niece it's time for takeoff with Air Jordans at not-so-sky-high prices. And get a certified refurbished Bose soundbar for your husband that says, we're going to need a bigger home theater. Say a lot, save a lot on gifts from eBay for those who mean a lot.
Sale alert at Banana Republic Factory. Take up to 75% off everything, plus an extra 40% off. Save on comfy faves like cozy sweaters, soft hoodies, and more. Find your nearest store or shop online only at Banana Republic Factory. The Friends and Family events begun at Gap Factory and GapFactory.com. Get 50% off everything right now. Plus, shop new doorbusters, including our Gap logo crew neck sweatshirt from $20. Find it all at Gap Factory or GapFactory.com through November 12th.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago on this TGI Mickey Ficky Friday, baby. It's the weekend, baby. And man, we have some phenomenal news. We talked a little bit about it earlier, and I'm telling you, I want to get this guy on because he and I have been talking about this MVP for the last couple of years in the making. Man, he is a good friend of the program. I definitely want to bring him back on because he played for the Chicago White Sox, as a matter of fact, in their minor league system. So you can find him on Twitter at Matt_Nuko. Guys, let's welcome back to Shawn and Maya, Matt Anuko. Matt, what's up, buddy? How are you? Good to have you back. Oh,
I think Matt might be a little frozen.
No, there we go.
There he is. All right.
Matt, how you doing, buddy? You got us? Matt.
Let's wait. Let's wait and see if it buffers.
Yeah. Let's definitely see. But I'll tell you what. Jose Abreu. This guy has been one of the hardest working guys that I've seen in and around Major League Baseball. His work ethic is second to none. And you know what? It's I don't want to say easier for him. But when he defected some years back, the rest of his family was in Cuba. Okay. The rest of his family was in Cuba. And, I think that the fact that he missed his people. Let's see. We got you, buddy.
I think so. I can hear you now. Was I frozen?
Oh, I got you. No, we're good. It looks like we're good.
Cool.
How you doing, man? Good to talk to you. I know you've been you got a new job as e-teacher.
Hybrid / electronic first grade. He's actually yelling at me right now. I'm locking myself in a room with a 2-year-old. Had an emergency diaper situation 30 seconds before I was supposed to be on. I mean, this is just life.
It's life. It is. What better way to live, dude? You know what? I always saw sudden change, baby.
Keeps me on my toes.
Ain't that the truth, man? Ain't that the truth? Well, good. I'm glad things are good. Are good with you and the family. Little kids driving you crazy. Well, what other way should it be?
Yeah. Well.
Hey, just think when you're old, they get to change your diaper.
Well, I will make sure that they do. No doubt.
Hey, great
Sooner
stuff.
rather than later. Who knows? I mean,
hey, you're not going to prom today. You're changing my diaper. Damn it.
Yeah.
Hey, well, let's get right to it, man. Because you know what, you've been rocking with me for about 3 years now, and every year we've talked about how Jose Abreu is just one of the best. It is just one of the way his work ethic, his approach to the game, everything about Jose Abreu that we've talked about is finally come to fruition with him winning the MVP award.
I think, Matt, are you there?
There we go. No. Yeah. So talk to me, dude. Yeah, it sounds like it. So talk to me, man. How is it? How excited are you about Jose Abreu? Because that's been our guy. He's like, no, I want to be heard.
Something needs to be printed out for school, and it's just not going to happen. It's good for Jose Abreu. It's good for the White Sox. Good for White Sox fans. I mean, he clearly was the guy this year. I'm surprised the voting was even that close with Jose Ramirez because Pito had an incredible season. But I mean, it's not surprising. He's been a machine for the past 6 years. He's consistent. He went on that 10-game stretch this year where he hit like 9 home runs in 10 days. And we talked about it earlier in the summer before everything started in season that you got to burn hot.
Mm-hmm.
I think we might have gotten froze again.
Yeah, he might have froze again.
Yeah, I think it did. He's trying to reboot it right now.
Mm-hmm. And but what he was talking about, we talked. What he was mentioning is what we had talked about earlier in the seasons, where you got to come on strong. When you're talking MVP in a short season, you got to start off strong, and you have to maintain. Like there can't be any lulls. Luba found that out the hard way. he came out strong, and he's like, "Oh, I got it," and then all of a sudden he literally his numbers just fell off the table. Pitchers found out about him, and he was unable to maintain. I mean, he was his first 35 games. There was no contest. There wasn't even a reason to have any other candidates for Rookie of the Year.
Right.
And then game 36 and on.
They started throwing sliders. That's what they did. Game 36, they started throwing the sliders. And honestly, like I think that's what happened to him, because we talked about it. Like, did he get a big head? Yeah, I think he got a big head. Some of the antics, the in the outfield and such, the way he was playing was phenomenal. But you should expect that. Like, somebody should have been there. And I'm not saying that they weren't, that the leadership there wasn't talking to him. But somebody should have been there saying, at least, or let us know that somebody was there saying, "Hey, man, like, you're gonna hit a wall. Like, there's gonna be a time where you hit a wall. Be prepared for that wall, or at least mentally know that you're gonna struggle." Because there was a time, that whole stretch, dude, it looked like he couldn't touch the baseball. You know what I'm saying? For like 40 at bats plus, like, he couldn't touch a baseball, and it was like, oh man, what the hell's going on with this guy? It's like, I hope everything that we thought about him at the plate is still ringing true, because of the struggle, like how hard he struggled during that stretch. But he ended up figuring it out. You know what I'm saying? He ended up figuring it out and righting the ship and finishing second in that MVP race, which I think, if you have a full season, I think he still goes through that slump, but he comes out of that slump and it makes him a better player, and he excels and would make up in that second half of a full 162. I think Lewis Robert wins the MVP in a full 162, but it's
Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, excuse me, Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year. In a full 162.
Yeah, like don't take Jose MVP.
No, what are you doing?
Hey, Lubov's got enough MVP chances to win. Yeah, give him another 2 years, and then he'll be in that conversation.
One at a time. Looks like we got Matt back on.
Hey,
Matt,
buddy, were you able to print that out for little man, or what?
It was right underneath the one paper he didn't look under. I'm 36. I feel like I do that daily anyway, too. So at 6, it's somehow there's an excuse. Yeah, exactly. So now I'm in a new room with one of the. Anyway,
I had the same issue this morning. Shawn saw my face this morning. I had the same issues now.
He's got a daughter, and then she's just She runs them. So.
Oh yeah, I know how that goes. I got 2 girls. Oh man.
So we were talking about it and how awesome it is to see this guy finally get the top individual honor that he deserves.
Yeah, he's, the video of him, getting the news was pretty cool and pretty awesome.
Yeah,
he seemed like to genuinely be like, that's pretty cool. Choked up and all that. It seems to be important to him because he's not a selfish guy. It seems, he doesn't play for him. He plays for the team. He's genuinely, sincerely, grateful for what he's been given and the opportunities he's been given, but he's also made the most of them. And, getting the MVP honor, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and this is a guy. Now there's only one thing left to do, and that's to hoist that World Series trophy. This guy is one of 28 people in the history of Major League Baseball to win the Rookie of the Year and the MVP. And you know what? Now there's only one thing left to do for him, and to literally put a bow on his baseball career, and that's win the World Series. And he wanted to be here. He loves his team. He loves his city. He loves his teammates. And if that can happen in the next couple of years, my goodness, you talk about a fairy tale ending to a fairy tale life for a guy who started off in poverty, down in a communist country, to come here, to not have his family here, to worry about his family traveling here, to get his family here. And all the while he poured himself into his work to maybe distract him from all the craziness that was going on, whatever it was. It showed on the field that this guy was all about business, and to finally tie it up with a nice bow, holding that World Series trophy, because he's going to he would get it first. I love you, Tim Anderson. I think you're phenomenal, but he gets to raise that trophy first. And your thoughts on how close the White Sox are. We're going to talk about the hire a little later, but your thoughts to how close the White Sox are to being able to raise that World Series trophy.
I mean, they got to be right there. And you're right about Abreu getting the trophy first. I mean, he's the heart and soul of the team. He's the elder statesman, the guy that the rest of the team kind of will run off of. You have a lot of exciting young talent and a curious managerial decision or move this year that got more complicated this week. But, they're right there. It's really exciting. I mean, we saw a glimpse of it this year, 35-25 in a 60-game set, half the season, Of course, I think the conversations will be, depending on when the White Sox win the World Series in the next few seasons or whether the whole thing falls apart in some way, it'll always kind of point back to that 2020 season, kind of like, well, what if they had a second half of the season? Would they have gotten hot? Would they have fallen off? Would people have gotten injured? With Jared Crochet, showing his stuff late in the season this year, already getting a very abnormal call up in a very weird season, how much longer does he spend in the minors? He definitely will, but how much longer will he spend there? Michael Kopech will come back. Hopefully he'll have his head on straight and be all good and ready to go and physically be ready to go. I mean, this break only helps him. They've got the pitching. They've got the everyday talent in Lubob and Madrigal and Anderson put back-to-back seasons together offensively that were really, really good. Got to continue to work on the defense. You've got Pito. You've got Moncada, who's really coming on at third. You have Grandal for another 2 years. I mean, this is set up to really kind of like take over the AL Central, and many of these guys are already locked up on longer team-friendly deals. So, it's very, very, it's the White Sox blueprint. Lock the guys up that you think are going to be worthwhile on team-friendly deals and see what happens. But there's going to be some minor free agent signs that are going to be important. There's going to be bullpen decisions that are going to be important. And then you just got to go out and play. I mean, the talent's there. Talent is there now, and they just got to go out and produce.
Guys, we're joined by Matt Anuko. He was with the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast, talking little White Sox baseball right here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago. So let's talk about the low-hanging fruit and the 800-pound gorilla in the room, man. And that's the Tony La Russa hire. It is a Jerry Reinsdorf move all the way. If you watch that the press conference, you can see Rick Hahn was as uncomfortable as I've ever seen him. I know he said stuff, but he was just towing the company line. That's not his hire by any stretch. He talked about a guy having recent success. He talked about a whole bunch of different things, and Tony La Russa isn't one of them. I mean, don't get me wrong, Tony La Russa's resume, you put it up, it's second to none. All right, it's second to none, but there's also a time gap from his last time as a manager to now. There's also the comments about the kneeling for the anthem against Kaepernick, and this with this new team with guys who are very vocal about social justice. And this is so many different times you see a square peg trying to be shoved in a round hole, and a lot of people don't like it. I didn't like it. I thought, okay, maybe it could work. But then you get the DUI thing, and then the Sox knew about it beforehand. Like, this is just an old guy saying, you know what, this is my team. I can do whatever the hell I want.
Shawn, I don't even know what to add because you hit every single point. I mean, and then, you try to balance that with the positives. He's got a Hall of Fame career. He's already done it. He's 76 years old. He's been out of the dugout for 9 years. I mean, what's the point? He's not – these baseball guys, I mean, he's kind of anti-analytics. He's old school. He's not about flipping bats, which was where the game is going. I'm not about flipping bats, but, let's flip some bats. The unwritten rules. And you're just exactly right. I couldn't have said it better myself. This is Jerry Reinsdorf saying, this is my team and I'm going to do what I want, which is probably what's been going on with the Bulls for several years. But, it's it's sad. It's sad because Rick Hahn, he just took it all away. And even Rick Renteria, I know this is professional sports, and if you're scared, get a dog kind of thing, or if you're upset, go cry to your mother. But the guy did it. This is the second time it's happened to him in the same city, and it's just he's not a terrible manager. You didn't even give him a shot. You didn't give him a shot. Whether it was mutual, whether they couldn't come to an agreement on salary and contract and stuff like that, I don't know. I don't know if anybody's ever going to come out and admit that one way or the other. But then this DUI thing, when the Sox knew about it, I mean, you're like you said, fit a square peg into a round hole. I read the reports about, his BAC back in 2007 when it was like 0.093, which is like marginally above the legal limit. And then it's like 0.08 or above right now. And we'll see what that actually was, because 0.08 is the legal limit. It doesn't even matter. That's what it was. It was at or above the legal limit. And it's just like,
hey, I'm a Hall of Famer, brother. I'm a Hall of Famer, brother. See my ring?
And you can see him. I mean, and then the whole social justice part. I mean, the South Side of Chicago, a city with a pretty, checkered history on racial and social justice, to go out and grab this guy in this time. I mean, White Sox fans. I mean, I've been scanning Twitter, and there was a lot of question marks and I guess it's okay, comments, but it's just like, no, it's just not. And then all of this is stacking up against them. The front office doesn't seem to want it, except for, the king himself, Jerry Reinsdorf. As a White Sox fan, I can get myself worked up a lot about it, because it's not, unless Tony comes out and starts doing serving meals at soup kitchens, starts, really, getting behind the social justice movement, starts to offer some seriously contrite apologies. I just don't see this going well.
Talk to me about him not reaching out to Jose and Tim Anderson. Those are the guys that he needs to reach out to. And I understand you're a Hall of Famer. I understand you got 3 World Series trophies in your back pocket as a manager, and I understand you're the man when it comes to that. But these are the guys that you're trying to get to play for you and run through a brick wall for you, figuratively speaking. And how talk to me about what the optics are of him not reached out to Tim Anderson. As of last week, Scott Merkin had asked Tim, and Tim said, no, he hasn't reached out to me. How bad are those optics right now?
It just throws.
It's getting worse.
It just throws all of the consistency and all of the expectations and I know it's a dirty word, but to some people, clubhouse culture, that really matters. A team's cohesiveness and ability to get along with each other and understand and know what to expect next from the players, coaches, staff, everybody, that really, really matters. And La Russa did that. He built that in St. Louis. It was a very different time in baseball, very different time in America. That you have this outspoken black shortstop player from the South,
Tuscaloosa,
the deep South,
and Tuscaloosa, yep, oh yeah,
and that he plays with flair. That the scouting department, I had conversations with the head of scouting a year or two ago, and we talked about bat flips, and he was like, you know what, that's good for baseball. So you have the people out there choosing these players saying, this is good for baseball, this is entertaining, we need to bring fans, we need to build a brand. You can't go backwards and say, hey, we're not going to play that way here, son. You can't do that. And, Tim has tried to be, from the comments I've read, the quotes I've read, try to be diplomatic in the press about it, saying, I'm not going to change the way I play for anybody. But that is a bad way to even get started. I can
There's a lot of standoffish, a lot of machismo between both guys. Yeah. And dude, let's just get along. Yeah.
And that's the problem is, I mean, having been in the organization as a player to covering it to coaching later on, you have to manage egos. You cannot bust egos. Coaches used to all the time play with confidence, but then at the same time, the old school of coaching was yelling and screaming and smoking confidence, crushing it and breaking it down and rebuilding you up. you can't do that with these players anymore. So Jose Abreu is probably gonna, you're gonna coach and manage him a whole lot different than you're gonna manage Tim Anderson. So if there's gonna be a clubhouse standoff, one day, that's gonna be uncomfortable for everyone. And I just don't see Tim as like stepping up and saying, like in certain circumstances, he takes accountability. He needs to be better. He's a leader. If it comes down to something where he feels slighted by the manager, especially if it's a perceived flair or cultural thing, I don't see Tim backing down. And if La Russa is going to be like, this is my team, either get on the train or get off, it's going to be bad. And it's just going to, and I'm making a whole lot of assumptions. I'm drawing a whole lot of conclusions that I don't necessarily know are going to happen. But this is the worry. This is like what everybody
worst case scenario,
and kind of is like looking out for. At least I'm looking out for, because I just don't see La Russa as a plug and play. Like he's going to fit right in. The train's going to keep rolling, and let's just go out and win. I just don't see that. And him not reaching out to the team or to Tim Anderson and Jose Abreu I could read that one of two ways. Either one, there's a lot of questions in the organization about the DUI coming out and whether things are actually going to go forward. Or two, just kind of like Tony, just being old school Tony.
Yeah, guys, we're joined by Matanuco. Talk a little White Sox baseball right here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago. And that's the one thing that I'm really concerned with in dealing with that is like, what, do you cut bait now? And I would say yes, it would be, but I'm not an 80-plus-year-old rich billionaire white dude who owns 2 franchises, because he's not moving. And that's one. I don't know if you know anything about billionaires, but they don't like anybody telling them what to do.
Right.
kind of like your son.
Yeah.
Tony La Russa's here. He's here to stay. Whether it's 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, however many years it is, he's here to stay for the near future. And we got it. We have to hope that it works. And then, you're right. I hope it doesn't get to that point. The worst case scenarios, because that'll be bad for everybody. Give me your thoughts on this rotation. All right, we got a 1, we got a 2, we got Lucas Giolito, and we got Dallas Keuchel. All right, we obviously need a number 3. We don't know. Kopech's still an enigma. All right, he had a couple of good starts a couple years ago, blew out his elbow, came back this. Oh no, I'm not coming back because I'm getting divorced. After I just got married 6 months ago. So where he's at physically and mentally are going to be two. First of all, they're independent of each other, and those are 2 separate things you got to worry about. But then you got Carlos Rodon coming back. You have, Garrett Crochet, who you said was going to be a starter. Do you keep him in the bullpen for a while? So there's a lot of questions. What do you think the Sox are going to do for that number 3 or that wherever you get a 1, 2, and 3? If you get a Bauer, I don't know if I put him in number 3, but nonetheless, what are they going to do with that number 3 pitcher? That pitching hole that they have.
Well, like you said, you have a 1 and a 2, and then just everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So you still have Reynaldo Lopez. You got Dane Dunning.
Love him.
Yeah. So you have 2 guys that are they're your other 2 starters that make up your 4, and then you got 1 more that you hope is probably Garrett Crochet. Big slinging it lefty. That these are the unknowns, and this is probably where maybe a free agent sign comes into play. Do you go out and get a big name? Do you after this year or next year, do you re-sign Keuchel? You start to get older. You still have some arms in the minor leagues, but Carlos Rodon is that big question mark, and I've been a big fan of his because he shows these flashes of dominance, and then he just kind of slips back into getting shelled. So if I'm making the rotation on opening day 2021, it's definitely it's Giolito, Keuchel, probably slip Dane Dunning in the middle to kind of give you that different flavor of, instead of a power arm, a more nuanced painter. And then you get, Reynaldo and Carlos Rodon. Or Kopech too. And Kopech is that other guy.
Don't forget our guy Dylan Cease as well. Because I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know if Ray Lopez is going to be here. I like him, but I just don't think he's shown
he's been inconsistent.
Yeah, I don't think he's shown that the Sox warrant keeping him around. I don't know. I like that. I met him at Sox Fest a couple times. Nice guy, nice kid, but it's not about being nice. It's about getting people out at his position anyway.
Yeah, and Kopech is that other guy that, like, this is one of those luxuries and those nice problems to have where you have so many arms, you kind of forget that you have these other arms. And Kopech is out of the public consciousness right now, having, stayed away from the game for a year. And, you just, number one, you hope he's okay, because those posts, those social media posts and those statements he was making about mental health, number one, you want to make sure that he's okay if he was having those issues, and number two, you want to make sure that, like, he has the support system to be successful once he gets back and can play, because the physical stuff is there. I mean, there's no denying that, but it's almost like a Greinke kind of issue where, like, you got to, like, keep him away from himself a little bit, at least from the outside looking in a little. And you just, you want his, 100+ mile an hour fastball, but you want him to have the maturity to know that he can handle himself away from the field. And also, in the clubhouse, and just in general in life. But, the White Sox aren't paying him millions of dollars to go to therapy and not play. So you want to make sure that, the balance is there, because, like you said, physically, this is good for him. He'll have that extra rest. Mentally, you just want to make sure that he's ready to go when he's ready to go. And if he's not, get him the help he needs.
Matt, I'd love to keep you for another freaking hour, dude. I love talking baseball with you, bro. But I know you got some people, some little bodies over there like, Daddy!
I'm gonna walk into the soup as soon as I hang up here. I'll be catching it from all angles.
Hey, I appreciate it, dude. I really, really do. I know you got a lot going on over there, but I love talking to you, and I definitely wanted to talk to you about the La Russa thing and the state of the White Sox right now. So I do appreciate your time, man. Let everyone know where they're online, bro.
Yeah, check me out on Twitter at Matt_Anuco, ENUCO. I try to jump on our podcast, Pinwheels and Ivy podcast, as much as possible, but with it's been fragmented to say the least right now. But give me a follow on Twitter, and I engage. Great,
buddy. I appreciate it. Great talking to you. I like the lumberjack look. Are you hanging out with Biggie? Look at his. I need a red bandana, bro. And we're good.
I know. And, like, doing on my phone, I got fly eyes, or like, go anyway, face for radio and all that.
Hey, great stuff, buddy. Again, good talking to you. Miss having you on a regular basis, man. We'll be in touch soon. All right.
All right, man. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. All righty. Guys, that was Matt Anuco from the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast. And just love having him on, man. I love sitting and talk baseball with him for an hour or 2 hours. My man knows his stuff. Being in the White Sox organization, playing at a Division I college. Those are the conversations I really enjoy having. But this conversation I'm going to have coming up next is one that I'm fired up about as well. On the other side of the break, our guy, Jason Palmer, who's decked out in his 1970s White Sox uniform. I like it, baby. I like it. So stay tuned. Jason Palmer and your boy, the Superback, coming up next right here on the other side of the break. So keep it locked right here, Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago.
BoomerNaturals.com presents the Sports Flash on 1330 and 95.9 The Zone. Looking ahead to Sunday's NFL action, Kansas City has the bye week. Green Bay's home against Jacksonville this Sunday, while the undefeated Steelers host the Bengals. Big matchup on Monday night for Chicago when they host the Vikings. The Bears are 5-4, Minnesota 3-5. The Bears looking to snap a 3-game skid as they also try and maintain a grip on second place in the NFC North. The other NFC matchup this weekend has 3-5 Detroit hosting 2-6 Washington. Baseball's MVP awards were handed out on Thursday. In the National League, Freddie Freeman of Atlanta takes home the gold, while White Sox Sox slugger Jose Abreu took home the American League Award. Boosted by the four-time All-Star, Atlanta won the National League East for the third straight season, while Abreu helped power the White Sox back into the postseason for the first time since 2008. Boomer Naturals, your source for 3-layer protective face masks. Breathable protection for adults and kids. Save 20% with promo code SPORTS at boomernaturals.com. Chuck Sanders, that's the Sports Flash, 1330 95.9 The Zone.
eBay has gifts that say a lot, but don't cost a lot. So save big on a DeWalt drill set for dad that says, let's get to work. Tell your all-star niece it's time for takeoff with Air Jordans at not-so-sky-high prices. And get a certified refurbished Bose soundbar for your husband that says, we're going to need a bigger home theater. Say a lot, save a lot on gifts from eBay for those who mean a lot.
Sale alert at Banana Republic Factory. Take up to 75% off everything plus an extra 40% off. Save on comfy faves like cozy sweaters, soft hoodies, and more. Find your nearest store or shop online only at Banana Republic Factory. The Friends and Family events begun at Gap Factory and gapfactory.com. Get 50% off everything right now. Plus, shop new doorbusters, including our Gap logo crew neck sweatshirt from $20. Find it all at Gap Factory or gapfactory.com through November 12th.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago. And let's bring my next guest on. Man, I haven't talked to him. He's been in Hawaii. He's been in Fiji. He's been in New Zealand. He's been – where the hell else you been, man? Damn. Most people celebrate their anniversary like a week, and this guy was gone for like 8 weeks. I'm like, oh, must be nice. Probably referenced some freaking volleyball game down in the Isle of Tonga. Him and Superfly Snooker. Jesus Christ, this dude. Let's bring him on, man. He's one of the co-hosts of What's Up, Cuz, with his cousin Lance C. Irvin. You can find him on Twitter at Jaycoyden. Again, Jaycoyden. Guys, bring him back. Are you even home now, dude? Or are you still over in the Isle of Tonga? Guys, Jason Palmer. What's up, Bubba? How are you?
What's up, man? I am back home. Good to be home, man. Good to be home.
It's not just a backdrop behind you? That's not
I'm positive. I am at home now. So, yeah. Wow. It's good to be back here. Have had to actually try to catch up on sports. I tried to completely deplug and enjoy my downtime, man. But I am back.
You're doing volcano diving in Hawaii. What the hell else do you expect?
Yeah, man. Had some great time zip lining, rode some horses, sat out on the beach, just enjoyed myself, man. Got to get a little bit of break, man. So I am back. You have my full attention. What's up, cuz? We are back Monday. We had some technical issues this past Monday. Basically, I broke my screen on my computer in Hawaii. So I broke my computer. So I was like, well, I guess it's not a show. So I got a new computer now. I'm all fired back up and be ready to go on Monday. What's up, cuz? We'll be back. Abbreviated edition. Because the Bears, they're playing Monday night against the Vikings. So we're going to go.
What's Maya going to do?
Yeah, we're going at 5 o'clock. We'll be the lead-in for Ivan's barely pregame show. And then we'll have a full show of What's Up, Cuz the following week when we start talking college basketball, because that season is getting ready to get rolling. Joseph was talking about the fighting the Illini, and I'm right there with him. With them. They're gonna be a beast this year, Shawn. So lots of good stuff to look forward to. I think I came back in great time. You know, NBA announced they're gonna start their season December 21st. Hockey is probably gonna start right around the new year. So and COVID is still ravaging. So you know everything is still fluid, man. It's high school season basketball has been delayed. Governor Pritzker told IHSA, "I am the governor of this state. I don't care what y'all say. And they ain't playing till I say they playing." So a lot going on in sports, man. A lot of good conversations we can have, man.
Man, there's tons of it. So first and foremost, glad you're back. Glad it was healthy. Glad it was relaxing for you and the missus. But yeah, it's good to have you back and ready to roll. So you were away when you watched this from afar from this this whole Tony La Russa issue, and this is just an old white man. I'm talking Jerry Reinsdorf because he knew about it. The White Sox knew this situation, and he's like, I don't give a damn. He's my friend. It's my team. I'm a billionaire. You're not, Rick Hahn. So make the announcement.
And the thing about this, Shawn, is people say it all the time. And Bill Clinton actually said it when he got caught cheating with Monica Lewinsky. He did something for the worst reason just because he could. I think Jerry Reinsdorf is doing this just because he can, which is the worst reason to do it. It's not the right thing to do. We all were skeptical when we first got wind from Bob Nightingale that La Russa was even a candidate. We were all like, what?
Bob, are you serious?
Right. And then, it kept going. And then they hired him. We were all still scratching our heads. And now the DUI thing has come out. He hadn't even reached out to your star players. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And this is a very I'm very curious on this move because Jerry Reinsdorf, he's like anybody else. He's got his faults. But Jerry Reinsdorf has also done a lot of great things, especially in the African-American community. I'm not going to forget the ACE program that he has, where they have so many high school baseball players who've gone on to get college scholarships from the inner city. I'm never going to forget what he does every year on Jackie Robinson Day, how he brings in black kids into the stadium and teaches them about Jackie Robinson. He does a lot of stuff in the community. The White Sox have built baseball fields, so much stuff. And then he goes and does something like this, which just I don't know if this is a guy who feels like his last days are coming and he's like, well, I'm going to go out my way, guns a-blazing. That's what I kind of make this move because, he's not Bill Wirtz. He's not that. He's not that. But, as soon as Bill Wirtz died, all of a sudden, we had Blackhawks games on TV all of a sudden.
Dude, he didn't even hit the floor. And the Blackhawks games were on TV, okay? That's how fast Rocky was. Get him on.
Right. So, I'm hoping this is not that kind of situation we have going on. But I'm just very I don't know why you would do this to the morale of your team more than anything else and piss off your customers. Yep. Brian Hartzell sent me an email this morning, actually. He's a White Sox ticket guy. He's like, hey, Jason, you're still doing your 10 game. I know you want to do a 20 game package in 2021. I told him, Brian, I'm getting my money back from the 10 game because of the La Russa move. Like, I got hit by a drunk driver 2 years ago and almost died. Okay, so that's something very serious to me. Mm-hmm. I almost got killed by a drunk driver. And this guy, he already's been convicted of it once, and now he does it again. You're 75, 76 years old, dude. You're supposed to learn. And he had to learn.
Cowboy who did that. Was it not? It wasn't Leon Lett.
It was a guy from the St. Louis Rams who.
Yes.
Yeah, he killed a journalist's wife. The guy was a journalist. He was actually a photographer for the St. Louis Rams.
Was it Leonard Little?
Leonard Little. There you go. And the guy was a journalist. The guy was a journalist for the Rams, and Leonard Little drunk kills the guy's wife. And then the Rams were like, well, what do you mean you don't want to take pictures for us anymore?
I met Leonard Little. So my guy Ken, he's been on the show. He was a sports agent, and one of his guys was Vic Adianju. I don't know if you remember the name.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, he went to Curie, and then his younger brother James went to Curie as well. Vic ended up going to Indiana because he broke his leg. He was one of the best D tackles coming out, but he broke his leg, so he ended up going to Indiana, a smaller Big Ten school. His brother James ended up going to Wisconsin. He came out. His brother James is the same age as Jadeveon Clowney. They came out. Jadeveon Clowney was the number 1 D end, and his brother James was the number 16th rated defensive end in the country. But I digress. So they were playing the Bears at one point, and he was like, "Hey, dude, I need a favor because Kenny lives out in the burbs." I was like, "Well, what's up?" and Vic's from Gage Park neighborhood, and so he was like, "Hey," he goes, "Can you pick up a couple pizzas?" He goes, "Vic, Vic wants some home run pizza." I was like, "Yeah, I got you, dude." Don't you? He goes, "I'll pay you when I'll pay you when we get there." I was like, "All right, cool." So we get there, and I picked up a couple of pizzas, and I actually got to meet. Well, Vic was there, obviously. I got to meet Steven Jackson, and I got to meet Leonard Little, and Leonard Little's a big dude. Steven Jackson's a big dude. Leonard Little was a big dude. I was like, oh damn! And Leonard Little took one whole pizza by himself and left.
I believe it. I'm just glad he didn't take a keg of beer with him. Little man learned his lesson. Tony, that news just really kind of stunned me. And how this thing has continued to go over the last couple of days. This has got to be a public relations nightmare for the White Sox PR department. What can you do? Because it's the boss that's making the call.
Yeah, he can't fire the boss, and he ain't firing himself. So, right. that's a tough one, man, because I agree with you. It is a PR nightmare. The fact of the matter is that this guy is, it's the second time, and it wasn't just the fact that the fact that it's the second time alone would be bad enough. But then when you got the transcripts and he's talking about I'm a Hall of Famer, brother, and blah blah blah. Look at this ring and all this other stuff. It's like, dude, now you're trying to big time your way out of shit. You literally talk about white privilege. It's right there where he figures, well, I'm Tony La Russa. I can do this, and I should be able to get out of it. Just the ability to think that and to use that. I'm a Hall of Famer. I'm this. I'm that. Is privilege that it's unfortunate that he has, and there's a lot of people, and I'm glad that you said that to the ticket guy, because of the La Russa thing, because that's got to get back to Reinsdorf, because if people stop getting the 10 games and the 20 games or whatever season ticket packages that they have, and the number one reason is the Tony La Russa hire. I understand Jerry's a billionaire and does whatever he wants, but he's a billionaire for a reason. And when it starts affecting his money, that's the way you make change when you're dealing with billionaires.
Yep, without a doubt. So just disappointed in that. It takes so much of the feel-good moment away from this team. People are really wrapping their arms around this team, embracing this team, their fun personalities. And, you bring a guy in like La Russa, he's just not – this is not going to work. I don't care how good of a baseball mind he is. This is not going to work. And if this team underperforms, they need to point directly at the decision they made at the top. Because I don't care what you say. Ricky Renteria as a tactical manager was terrible, but would those guys play for him? Would those guys run through a wall for him? Absolutely. Absolutely. And that says a lot. That says a lot. You may have now gone to the exact opposite extreme where you've got a better tactical guy, but if the players don't want to play for him, man, and we know how it is dealing with this younger generation. You and I both coach. We both coach. This is a different type of generation, man. And if they decide they're going to tune you out,
they're going to tune you out. So, the one thing that I did, I was, I thought about, I'm like, okay, well, listen, if it comes through, if they start winning, see, because there's some things, like I think there's some things that leave this hire a good hire. I love his old school mentality. I love his fundamentals, his focus on the fundamentals. Okay. You give me Tim Anderson to cut down on the errors on the routine ground balls. Now you've just got a legitimate, a perennial all-star shortstop every year.
Yep.
Okay. Because so that thing, the bat, he takes care of it at the plate. He takes care with the spectacular plays. It's the routine ones that really give him problems, and that's focus. I would love for this team to have some tough love. Okay. But you have to do it in a way that it's okay with them. You know what I mean? Like you can't just come in and guns are blazing. It's my way, the highway. You have to set the tone and say, and this is why he needs to talk to them. He needed to have talked to them already. And because if he comes and says, hey, Tim, listen, I'm going to coach your ass hard because you know what? You're making too many goddamn mistakes on a routine ground ball, and you need to be up for All-Star every single year. And if you knock that garbage off, guess what? You're going to be a perennial All-Star every freaking year. So my job is to get you to be a perennial All-Star every year. And we're gonna go at it. All right, but I need you to understand that the reason I'm pushing you, the reason that my foot's going to be in your ass, is I want you at the top of the All-Star list every single year. You tell me what player has an issue with that. What player would have a new school, old school, middle school, grammar school? No player would have an issue with that because you know what? Superstars want to be coached. Superstars want to take their game to the next level and the next level and the next level. And and that's what he needs. And that's what he's screwing up by not talking to these people, by not talking to the superstars. And, you know, Louis Robert, same thing. Tony speaks Spanish. He's been fluent for years. So he's to say, hey, listen, all right, you've been reading too many of your damn press clippings. Okay. They threw sliders at you and you swear you've never seen a slider before in your life. Okay. So I'm going to be on you because I'm going to make sure I need you to get to the point where you are the best center fielder in the game of baseball. Even with Mike Trout. Mike Trout's going to be on a decline soon, and it's your mantle to take over. But it's not going to happen if you don't approach every at bat, all right, with the due diligence that it deserves. It's not going to happen this. You know what I mean? Like these are the things that you need to tell these people. And and you challenge them. Why, Lewis, why can't you be the best center fielder in the history of baseball or in the game today? Why not? Why? And I'll tell you why. Because you're lazy, because this. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to work all that out. And when it's all said and done, whether you like me or not, you're going to be the best center fielder in the game of baseball. What athlete wouldn't love that? You know what I mean? And these are all the things that you're missing out on by not talking to these people.
Well, not just the not talking, but to make the comments that he made during the press conference when they specifically asked him about the social justice initiatives. And his thing was, I'll do anything if it's sincere. You know, that was his response, if there's sincere efforts. And, you know, also he's going to hold people accountable and responsible. Well, where are you holding yourself accountable? Because driving on the public road is something all of us have to take responsibility for. And it's not about just not being inebriated. It's like not texting on the phone as you're driving down the highway, which causes accidents. It's called not text. or doing your makeup or shaving or having an argument with your partner as you're driving. The public roads are public roads. It's extremely dangerous for people to be out here doing this stuff. So, you know, you've now failed that once, possibly twice, Tony La Russa. So you can't say nothing to nobody about social responsibility. And that's the quagmire the White Sox have now put themselves in and apparently intentionally because they knew about the arrest. So, you know, it's really bad. I do think it is the privilege of a rich white guy, Jerry Reinsdorf, who, you know, again, I appreciate a lot of things he's done specifically in the inner city. But this one is just, I start to question the man's, if he's senile, you know, he's getting there up in age. And this just seems like one of them moves where, you know, people get up in age and you know it, you know, you're dealing with an elderly mom, like I had to deal with mine. And, you know, they lose their filter, you know, the older they get, they lose their filter and they're going to do what they want to do and say what they want to say. Oh, yeah. And this just really seems like an old guy saying, I'm going to do what I want to do. I don't know if I'm going to be alive to see him win the World Series again. So, damn it, I'm going to get Tony La Russa back and see what we can do. So, we'll see how it works. I'm just not optimistic about it, unfortunately.
Yeah, me either. And again, the only thing that's going to smooth it all over is you start winning. So, but there are some things that can be done now. And to me, the first thing is reach out to your players. The hell with us. Don't worry about us. I could give a rat's ass about us. I really couldn't. All right, talk to your players. All right, let them know that you got their back. Let them know and say, hey, and you know what? And if you play it right, okay, you can say, hey, listen, I fucked up. Right? You know what? I didn't even have that many. You know, I had 2 or 3 drinks, but I had dinner, I was just going home. You know what I said? We've all been there. But listen, let me tell you this. And, you put it in human terms because I can guarantee you many of them have been in a situation like that. They just may not have gotten caught. You know what I mean? And they, I got you. Oh, you know what? Tony's not that bad. Tony's like one of us. Tony's like, you know what I mean? And that human aspect of it and say, hey, listen, but when it comes to this, this is what I want. And, and I just hope it turns out well, because this could, you know what this was like? This is like you're Shaq's son, and Shaq says, you know what? Guess what? You know what? I got you a birthday present. You go out and it's a Ferrari. You're like, oh, damn, Dad, oh snap, thank you. After you've been begging him, and he's like, no. And he was like, you know what? Fine, I'm a millionaire. My kid's a millionaire. Fine, we'll give it to him. And all of a sudden, he gives you the keys. You go in, and it's stick shift. You're like, well, I don't know how to drive stick. So now you got this Ferrari that you can't drive. Don't let somebody who can't drive the Ferrari. And get a guy who's in there who can relate to those guys. Get a guy in there who's driven Ferraris before, and who's driven stick before, who knows how to handle a luxury vehicle, and can get it to operate at its maximum capacity. And I don't know if Tony La Russa is that guy. If you're talking like maybe 911 Porsche back in the day, sure, that's Tony La Russa. It's right up his alley. I got you. Not these new cars, and we'll see, man. We're gonna see, because if it does, pardon me, if it does work out well, then this will all be water under the bridge, and this will all be conversation that it's going to be a moot point, because the players bought in and they won.
Right. And we'll see. He's got the MVP. You got an MVP on your team. You're going to see the leadership skills of Abreu. You're going to see the leadership skills of Anderson, because those are the two clear leaders on this team. It'll test their leadership abilities, but they could be strong enough where they can win despite this. I certainly hope so. I'm wearing my Dick Allen jersey today in honor of Pito winning the MVP. Dick Allen. I'm wearing my 71 jersey, old school. We'll see. Their talent is off the charts. They're only going to get better. So their talent could override all this, man. But I'm trying to be happy for Pito. Ricky Renteria finished second in the. So we avoided that situation. I was concerned about that he was going to win.
That would have been awesome.
He could have won and still had been fired.
It's like Dwayne Casey from the Raptors. Like Dwayne Casey from the Raptors. that would have been so Chicago.
Poor Ricky Renteria.
Dude, he wants to get out of Chicago. He doesn't even want to have a layover in Chicago anymore. He's like, get me the hell away from that stupid city. I hate it.
Oh God, man. But we've got so much stuff to look forward to. I'm really looking forward to your guy, Yohan Moncada. I'm looking forward to him bouncing back. I hope the long-term effects of the COVID clear up for everyone who's infected with COVID. I think that's the one scary thing about that virus is we don't know the long-term effects on people. We saw it with Yohan, though. We saw the effect it was having on him. And, I hope by, the spring, it clears up for him. I'm looking forward to seeing his development. I'm looking forward to seeing the development of all the White Sox players. It looks like we're going to keep Nomar Mazara. So, we'll see what he can give us in a full season. Looking to see what Dylan Cease does. Those are the players I'm really looking to see, because I think if they want to make that next step, it's not about Tim Anderson and Abreu and some of them guys. It's about all these other guys who need to take that next step up in their career, who may not be a superstar, but who are going to be great major league ball players. If they can make that next step, that next jump, we're looking pretty. And it looks like we're not going to get McCann back, unfortunately. But we may, because, the market is not going to be good out there. So maybe James says, man, I can't make the money that I thought I was going to make. Maybe he comes back for a one-year deal at a cheaper price. But if he doesn't, and we have Grandal as our everyday catcher, then that means Zach Collins is going to have to step up his game. He's going to have to step up his game and be that reserve catcher for when they need it, or God forbid, Grand Dog gets hurt. So, that's the area I'm trying to focus on right now. A lot of these other players, and you got to look at that full roster to see what the White Sox can do.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm anxious. There's a lot I'm anxious with. McCann is one of them. The Nomar and Nomar Mazara and the Adam Engel thing is another thing that I'm a little leery about. I'm anxious about. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Because we were talking the other day, like baseball, like you don't just jump from team to team, because baseball is, because of the amount of games, it's visceral. It becomes part of you. It's so difficult just to jump on another team and say, "Oh, I'm following these guys," because of the fact that you've dedicated so much time to watching these guys in the minors, watching them develop, watching the trades that they make, and watching the big league guys. It's visceral when it comes to a baseball team. Basketball team, football team, these guys come and go quick, fast, in a hurry. But baseball, when you watch these guys from Jump Street, when they're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and out of high school or fresh out of college, and you see them and you watch them develop, like we've watched, Eloy, and we've watched, Yohan, and we've watched Lubob. And hell, Lubob's been in it seems like Lubob has been in the system for the last 10 years, dude. You know what I mean? But so when they're there, then once we got Kopech and we said, we watched his development, his rise through the minors, that development, that time equity that we have, it's visceral, and it's tough to just go jump on another team. I'm following these guys. No, it's not that simple. Hey, listen, great stuff today. Jason, I really appreciate you hopping on. Do me a favor, let everyone know where they can find you online.
You can find me on Twitter at JCoyden, JAYCOYDEN. And don't forget to tune in on Mondays from 6 to 8 with me and my cousin, Lance C. Urban, on What's Up, Cuz. This week we're going at 5 o'clock because the Bears are playing Monday Night Football. So we're going to do an hour show. We're going to lead right into Ivan's barely football pregame show. Bears and Vikings.
Yep. Well, listen, great stuff, Papa. You have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday. Well, listen, we got my guy coming up next, the draft doctor himself, Phil Atoshin, fired up. Talk football with this dude. So don't go anywhere, folks. I'm telling you, if you sit here and watch, you actually might learn something or two. Me and Phil are going at it. I love it. It's my guy, man. I love talking football with this dude. So don't go anywhere. The draft doctor and the Superback up next on Shawn and Maya on SportsZone Chicago.
BoomerNaturals.com presents the Sports Flash on 1330 and 95.9 The Zone. Looking ahead to Sunday's NFL action, Kansas City has the bye week. Green Bay's home against Jacksonville this Sunday, while the undefeated Steelers host the Bengals. Big matchup on Monday night for Chicago when they host the Vikings. The Bears are 5-4, Minnesota 3-5. The Bears looking to snap a 3-game skid as they also try and maintain a grip on second place in the NFC North. The other NFC matchup this weekend has 3-5 Detroit hosting 2-6 Washington. Baseball's MVP awards were handed out on Thursday. In the National League, Freddie Freeman of Atlanta takes home the gold, while White Sox slugger Jose Abreu took home the American League Award. Boosted by the 4-time All-Star, Atlanta won the National League East for the third straight season, while Abreu helped power the White Sox back into the postseason for the first time since 2008. Boomer Naturals, your source for 3-layer protective face masks. Breathable protection for adults and kids. Save 20% with promo code SPORTS at BoomerNaturals.com. Chuck Sanders, that's the Sports Flash, 1330 95.9 The Zone.
eBay has gifts that say a lot, but don't cost a lot. So save big on a DeWalt drill set for dad that says, let's get to work. Tell your all-star niece it's time for takeoff with Air Jordans at not-so-sky-high prices. And get a certified refurbished Bose soundbar for your husband that says, we're going to need a bigger home theater. Say a lot, save a lot on gifts from eBay for those who mean a lot.
Sail alert at Banana Republic Factory. Take up to 75% off everything plus an extra 40% off. Save on comfy faves like cozy sweaters, soft hoodies, and more. Find your nearest store or shop online only at Banana Republic Factory. The Friends and Family events begun at Gap Factory and gapfactory.com. Get 50% off everything right now. Plus, shop new doorbusters, including our Gap logo crew neck sweatshirt from $20. Find it all at Gap Factory or gapfactory.com through November 12th.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago. It is a nippy day here in the Chi, and it's Friday. Let's see what it is. Let's check Cheryl Scott's forecast. High of 42 today. Sunny. Yeah, it's nice and bright and sunny. Man, not a cloud in the sky out there. Charlie, but a little brisk. 42 degrees. Let's bring out our next guest, man. I'm fired up. I can't wait to talk about it because we actually have an extra day since our Bears are playing Monday night. Man, he is the founder of the Tape Never Lies Network. And if you haven't watched it, where the hell have you been? You've been under a rock somewhere, dude, because this guy breaks down film like nobody else, man. And I love watching his breakdowns. And especially his show, Keeping It 100. He just keeps it 100. He's got no agenda. The tape never lies, and everything goes off the tape. And if you're a true football man, you understand that why he named it the Tape Never Lies Network, because that's the way football should be played. It's not about agenda. It's not about who makes more money. It's not about who's a higher draft pick. It's not about this, not about that. It's who gets the job done. And the tape will tell you every single time. It never freaking lies. Guys, you can find him on Instagram. He's not much of a Twitter guy, because Twitter you find him at Phil O, but he's not much of a Twitter guy. He's more of an IG guy. You can find him on Instagram at Phil_Otoshin. Guys, let's bring him out. My good friend, the draft doctor himself, Phil Otoshin. Phil, what's up, Papa? How are you?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm feeling,
living life.
I'm doing well. I'm feeling great. I have the most energy I've had in a while. I'm fired up. It's the weekend. Man, dude, good stuff. Although I did lose a lot of weight. I did lose a lot from the heaviest I got during this COVID thing.
Yeah.
Until the other day when I checked myself, I lost 26 pounds, dude.
Holy shnikey.
Holy shnikes.
As the great Chris Farley would say.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
As soon as you said that, I'm like, Tommy Boy?
Yes, exactly.
Tommy Boy? What?
top, probably my favorite movie all time, Tommy Boy.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite Chris Farley movie.
Yeah,
my favorite movie of all time is the Blues Brothers.
Okay,
and
yeah.
Second is Shawshank Redemption.
Oh my God, it's like a TNT. It's on replay all the time, right?
All the time. And you know what sucks? I hate catching it like 30 minutes into it because I have to sit down and watch it.
Yeah, you get caught.
Yes, you do. So give me 2 hours in, 2.5 hours in, I'm good. I only got 45 minutes and I can go the rest of my day. You catch me 20 minutes in, I'm like, damn, there goes the next 4 hours, because on TV it's 4 hours with commercials. I'm like, I got nothing. I just can't leave it. So
I hear you. I'm the same way with Tommy Boy. It's like, I don't care where it is. And I watch it and there's always something new, a little nugget that I like.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Why is it? I pick up little things too from the Blues Brothers. I'll pick up things from Shawshank, exactly. Like, oh, Henry Dufresne. Oh, okay. Andy. Andy.
Exactly. It's a tape. It's like the tape doesn't lie. It's still there. You just got to see it.
Yep, that's exactly it. Hey, well, I appreciate you, man, coming on your lunch break, bro. But let's get right to it, man. So this Bears team, they have a nice little game on Monday. They're playing the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings suck. Our Bears are going down that road of sucking as well. Right. At this point, they're 5-4. Give me your thoughts, because there's one guy who really's never played the Bears. He was hurt. He tore his ACL, so he was out all of 1 year. And then we we avoided him because he twisted his ankle or his knee, something. I'm talking Dalvin Cook because this dude is a freaking monster.
That guy in a little coat. Thank you, Ivan, for that. I know he's working magic behind the scenes there. Yeah, that's what you're gonna have to bring the fat guys in the little coats out there. I was actually watching the tape. I was actually very impressed with McCullers playing that nose for the Bears and what he was able to do with what the beast down in Tennessee. So, the Bears have never, and the Vikings have never scared me in regards to our Bears. What scares me is our Bears versus our Bears. That's the reality of the truth, man. Kirk Cousins, he's not anything. The Bears are going to stop the run. Dalvin's going to get a couple, little breaks here and there, but the Chicago Bears defense isn't the concern, Shawn. Really isn't. Dalvin is doing his thing this year, but it's this offense led by the coach and the offensive line. It's not cliche to say that it all starts up front, but it really does with this Chicago team. And watching this week's Tape Never Lies, it was the worst I've ever seen this Chicago Bears team on offense. I mean, I didn't do Tape Never Lies back when Chad Hutchinson and company were the quarterback.
Moses Moreno.
But
Jonathan Quinn.
Jonathan Quinn, exactly. It reminded me of the Terry Shea days. And I got a text from a former offensive lineman for the Bears this morning. He's like, Phil, you killed it. You put them on Front Street. This is a travesty. Thank God you guys are at that network are calling this out. This isn't okay. This isn't let's blame Harry Heastand. This is on the culture and teachings of one Matt Nagy. People keep hearing me say it, but I've been saying this, Shawn, even when they won the North. I'm concerned about that offensive line. Now, obviously, you're going to have that little asterisk there, like Bars was playing his first game, and you're throwing in guys that didn't play the position. To me, that's an excuse. You're in the NFL. Your job is to know and be fundamentally sound. I could deal with mistakes, Shawn. As you know, I can't deal with lack of effort. And when you see that on the tape from guys like Leno, who's supposed to be rising to the occasion, rise to the occasion as a professional, shut up the critics like me, and he stoops down to the level of everyone on the line instead of leading them as the matriarch of their offense. Think about that. He's been there forever.
Did you mean matriarch or patriarch?
I don't know. I don't know.
You wanted to be the mother of it.
I meant patriarch.
Oh, okay. I thought you were taking another stab at it. I'm like, yeah, he is kind of a woman sometimes. He's kind of a little but
I did mean the patriarch.
But you know what, Phil? You're right. When you're I don't give a damn if you're the 7th, 8th, 10th undrafted free agent. You've been playing there the longest from everybody on that offensive line now because of COVID and injuries and all these other things. So exactly. They need to look to you. Because at that point, they're like, well, he's a 7th round pick. No. They're like, this guy is a guy who got paid big money. This guy who's been starting for the last couple of years. And so when you look at this, this is the guy who needs to step up and say, okay, these youngsters are looking at me. He's looking at me. Okay. These youngsters are looking at me. I need to set the tone. And there's one thing. Tell me, Phil, since there's nobody on that line that sets the tone. Nobody. And to me, that bugs me as a former running back because I've been fortunate enough to play behind some great offense. Your guy, Ralph Riley. Your dad. When I was a freshman. But I was a freshman, and I had a couple of great plays, and the guys are like, wow, good stuff. But you see the linemen take control of the game, of everything, and there's nobody right on there right now, and to do that, and that's a big issue for me because I like Alex Bars, and you made the point when you said you can make. I can deal with mistakes too. We're human.
Yeah.
You give me a mistake going 100 mile an hour, you hit the wrong guy, and you knock the wrong dude into next week.
Yeah,
I'll take it. But don't give me the fundamental mistakes. Don't give me the lack of effort mistakes. Don't give me that kind of crap, because at that point, I'll take anybody. Just, you know what? If you're going to hit somebody, whether it's I know it might, because you're an undrafted free agent. First of all, you should know, because you're still getting paid money. But nonetheless, I have a little more tolerance for somebody who makes a mistake and goes hits the wrong guy. But you know what? He didn't hit somebody. Well, now let me get to the third level and look for somebody. Oh yeah.
My God. let me say this. How about when your number 71 Hambright is playing his heart out, and nobody else is doing it like him? What does that say? He's the only, and he was far from perfect, but his effort was there. And that's all I want to see as an analyst. Give me effort. I know they're not teaching this right. I'm talking to offensive line. I'm breaking it down. I'm showing you turn shoulders on zone plays. You want to see? People are asking me, can you put up like another team's tape so we could see what you're talking? I'm going to put up the Philadelphia Eagles. Is my buddy, one of our followers here. He's an Eagles fan. Trot Thomas is breaking down film there, and he's showing you inside zone. And you should see the Eagles. They got a freaking former Australian rugby player learning left tackle, and he's getting up and firing out with shoulders square, running the same offense. So Matt Nagy is clearly kicking these guys to the curb. You had the first offensive line coach, forgive me, I forget his name. He was with Fox. He was held over and Matt launched him. I think it was one of the Rogers brothers. Then you got Harry Heaston, so well respected around NFL circles, college circles. He's developed all these talents, yada, yada, yada. You know the story. Former Bears offensive line coach Olin Kreutz was on our show praising Harry Heaston, the teacher, the coach, the accountability guy. Harry's not going to badmouth and do that kind of, just like you leave a job. But I'll speak for Harry here. The elephant in the room is the head coach, how he sees his offense versus how you're supposed to teach it. And it's showing up on tape. So what does he do? He fires Harry. He hires Juan Castillo. You hear this 2.0. You hear we're going this way. We got Juan here teaching. He's working so hard. They're getting reps. COVID's not going to be a problem. They go out there and you start the season off really well. And then you get rid of Mitch. That's it. We got to get rid of Mitch. And then you put Foles in there. And where does the run game go? Where does the offense go? It disappears. You can't even run the ball. You can't know your assignments. You're turning around, like you said. I couldn't believe it. Like, you're running in a trap, a power play, and you got an offensive lineman turning around. And I'm like, this can't be real, but it is real. It is. You're running on the goal line, shovel pass. You can't even run dive right, but you're going to try to run shovel pass? That is a showcase of a play caller who's way in over his head. Last night we had JJ Stankovitz on Keeping It 100 of NBC Sports.
Oh, I love JJ. He's been on. He's awesome.
He's a great dude. I love this dude. And I challenged him. I go, JJ, and JJ's been defending, Matt, the head coach, and how he's kept this locker room together despite everything. And I said, well, JJ, let me ask you this. And it's the first time JJ got stumped. And he'll admit it. I go, if Matt Nagy was the offensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears, would he still have a job today? And he sat there for over 3 minutes. And he had to I go, come on, JJ. And you're right. No, he would be fired. So what is in line here, Shawn? You see it. I see it. Ivan sees it. Fans that are all about the game of football see it. Like, it doesn't lie on tape. There's issues all over the place. And you see the coach cracking now. You see him cracking. He's getting defensive because it's being put out there. And it's unfortunate because this defense is Super Bowl caliber, even with their warts and misses. I'll say this about Rex Ryan. He got it right. This, to me, is the best defense in the NFL. They're not playing like it. But, Shawn, last week when I was on the show, we talked about this. And you could talk about it again for the new listeners today. At some point, the defense and the offense start looking at one another. And the breakup, that marriage, Matt Nagy's not going to be able to hold that locker room together because you're now losing games because your offense can't get it done. And everything's dependent upon the defense making a stop or being put in shitty situations or getting a turnover to shorten the field to help you.
Because you're the guy came in to bring an offense.
Exactly.
So last time with JJ, I was like, I sent in a text, and I'm sure you guys didn't see it with the thousands that you guys get. But I was hoping that you'd ask him why did Matt Nagy dismiss Cam Ellis's question the other week? Because Cam Ellis is they do the coach or the Bears shows, the coaches show, not the coaches show. They do the podcast together.
Right.
Sports Chicago, but
I didn't hear this question. Go ahead. What was it?
I couldn't remember the question specifically, but all I know is Matt Nagy dismissed it as a negative question. He's like, "Oh, Cam, that's a negative question." Like you didn't even sit there and answer the man's question. You just dismissed it as a negative question and answered it any way you wanted to. Like that type of shit. That's I tell Shawn all the time. Every time he speaks, and I'm watching every single interview. I just feel like I'm being talked down to.
Right.
I'm being told if I'm a child and I'm being told, oh, this is how we play football. Like don't do that shit to me, dude. Like I've been watching football for however many years. Like I'm sure you guys longer than I have. Thousands of other people in this country have been watching football for years. Yeah. They see it. They know what good football looks like. Don't sit here in a football town and condescend us. That's bullshit.
Absolutely. The reality is, Ivan, and we talked about it with JJ because I was like, JJ, you owe me the truth. You got to confront this guy. You know, I'm Italian, straightforward, and I keep it 100 like that. But I've been a head coach. I'm around head coaches my whole life. So I know the vulnerability of truth and the ownership of it is the job of the head coach. Because when I say the team is a reflection of the head coach, if the head coach is sitting up there giving political answers, then politics invades the locker room. Oh, if coach could do it, coach has got us. He's protecting us. No, the job of the coach is to tell the truth, even if it means that you messed up. And I think the culture of your locker room grows and builds. You don't end up talking down to the fans. You end up growing as a coach. You learn. This guy's admitted, I'm learning as a job. He's never been a head coach in his life. Mm-hmm. He was gifted this, and I've said it before, and it offends people, but you know, Shawn, Ivan, you know, the good old boys network. Got Buddy here. He says this guy's good. You meet with him. He's got a great personality. This guy's proven nothing. Mm-hmm. He's proven nothing. In fact, it was coming out that he didn't even call the plays in the playoffs. It's like Andy Reid handpicked this guy to help him. He's his buddy. And that's what friends do, right? But in this case, the Chicago Bears got fleeced. Ernie Accorsi, that same map, that road map. You're the charter franchise. I said this to JJ. I know I'm jumping in two places, but I'll bring it back to JJ. You're the charter franchise. You should need nobody to help you find football people. They should be knocking and banging at your door. If they're not, they don't want the job, go to the next person, because you need to find somebody that loves not only the franchise, not only the culture, but football, because that's the reality of it. Like we said last week, people are coming in from that family. Every first of the month, they're getting paid. That's all they care about. You, Ivan, Shawn, we live this. This affects my whole week. It affects my schedule during my whole schedule. When's the Bears schedule coming out? Now I set up my whole life around that. Right. That's how much you love it. And there's millions, and that's not even an exaggeration, that do the same thing. And if these people are just caring about money, then the person in the most important position, even more important than the GM, is that head coach. That person has to be maniacal to the extent where every inch, every play, every personnel decision matters so much so that winning becomes the ultimate prize, not the money. That's going to come. The prize is winning. And unfortunately, the tough questions, like I said to JJ, have to be worded in a certain way. JJ, we pushed them. Are they doing that Notre Dame thing? Because JJ, for his credit, said, yeah, Notre Dame will pre-read your question and approve if you can ask it. And JJ said, no, they're not doing it. But there is a culture in there. And you saw it with Jason Leisure right at the end when he was asking about Cody Whitehair, and Coach Nagy showed his true ass colors when he said, why don't you go call him? And he couldn't believe that no, coach, all you had to do as a professional is, of course, I've spoken to Cody. I continue to check on him due to the situation with COVID and HIPAA. I can't really comment more than that, but of course I've spoken to him. Instead, he took this aggressive, like you're saying, Ivan, this talk down to the people mentality, and it's starting to get disgusting because it's showing up on the tape and into those pressers like, don't worry, I got it figured out. Well, that's not.
No, you don't.
That's not the equation that we're seeing. That's not.
Hey guys, we're joined by the draft doctor Phillips from the Tape Never Lies Network, talking Bears football right here on Shawn and Maya on SportsZone Chicago.
Yeah, there was another moment like where he had made some type of a joke. It was just an awkward situation in that press conference where he made a joke, and I guess somebody wasn't laughing or something happened, and he was just like, I don't know what it was, but they become more and more awkward. He's been running out of excuses, and all it is the same shit. All it is like we sit here, you and I and Shawn, and we could probably say everything he's going to say, word for word, because he repeats the same shit over and over again. Gotta find out, know the whys. Gotta be you. Gotta and all the same type of BS, but nothing gets corrected out on the field. JJ did mention yesterday when I was watching it, he mentioned to you guys that he has not lost the locker room.
Right.
And I guess that's a plus, that the guys haven't like completely lost their shit where they're just breaking apart from each other and you don't have cliques or anything. At least the locker room's together.
It's coming. Trust me. That's
coming.
It
is coming. It is coming. You had the Wims fight on the football field. He lied and said he didn't see it. Then you had that situation with COVID, and JJ called it right out. Coach lied again. So once you start lying on top of what Ivan's feeling and I'm feeling and you're feeling and all these listeners are probably feeling, where the coach is talking down to you, that it's not getting fixed, the product on the field is too complex. Imagine, like, I can't even imagine this as a coach. Like, I'm having my backup's backup in there, and I'm still going to try to run the philosophy of complex blocking schemes and play calls. I'm still going to do it. And I've been on Front Street talking about Coach Nagy, the teacher. He's absent. He's absent from being the teacher, Shawn. As a head coach, guess where your eyes should be? On the field. You have to be watching your players, your play calls, who's playing, who has a rhythm going, who needs a rhythm going, who's got the hot hand, who's not firing out. Even to the extent where I don't care if you're going to waste a timeout in the media's mind, but you are calling a timeout to gather those men together and say, this isn't okay. Mm-hmm. We need to keep it simple, stupid, and he can't do it. He can't condense the playbook. You know, JJ talked about something very important. I've been talking about it for a good 2 months now. When Mitch Trubisky in 2018 was running this team, going down and winning games with his feet and making plays here and there, to combine with that defense, They were doing it under 1.0 Nagy. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Then the big story was
101.
now it's going to be 202.
Mm-hmm.
And it destroyed, right? And then what happened then? Then he got rid of Mitch. Foles is in, and 202 is going to roll. And it's gotten worse and worse every week. So at some point, you as the play caller, the head coach, the offensive coordinator, all your titles, the spotlight shines on you that you got to go back. And there's nothing wrong with keeping it simple and getting the best out of the players that you have. You've heard ESPN talking about it. Dan Orlovsky, by the way, we coached against him. He's a Connecticut boy.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Nice.
we beat him. I can't wait to get him on the show. Remind him that. But he's been saying it too. Matt Nagy, the teacher, is not teaching. He's just calling plays. And I've been saying this, Shawn. You've been saying this. You can't just run empty set. And then the next play, come in and run bunches. And then the next play, you're back out with one tight end, 3 receivers to the left, and you're running a toss play to the short side. You can't call plays. You have to have a scheme that combats what it is you're trying to do. And he just doesn't do it. It's the most confusing thing. I can't even believe it's real life. I called it, you remember high school. On Saturday mornings, the kids, the seniors, and players that weren't ready for varsity football would suit up and they'd have that JV game. After that's what it looks like. That's a JV team out there playing as if that's the NFL. I can see a college offense coming in here and playing better for your offense. So to Shawn's point, it's only a matter of time till this defense is going to start fighting with the offense because they're playing with, listen to this, with this crappy offense, you're in overtime with the Saints. With this crappy offense, right? You're doing a drop onside kick, one possession away from tying it up with the Titans, who, oh, by the way, scored a defensive touchdown. No one's talking about that. They picked up a fumble and scored. Otherwise, this game is tied. You see what I'm saying? So despite all of these discrepancies, that defense is keeping you in the game. And guess what, Shawn? Guess what? This is where we stand out based on everybody else out there. I'm not afraid to say it. I am tired of the narrative and all that. Matt Nagy, he decided to go for it on 4th and 1. He didn't kick field goals. He didn't choose points with a team that needs points, a defense that needs points. He decided, and by the way, your kicker's been the best thing, a part of your team besides your defense, right? And you chose not to go for points. You're trying, we're going to be aggressive. We're going to do this. And you're running a dive play, Shawn. The same play that you showed the week before. Nobody's fooled. Nobody's fooled except the fans. And that's my rant. I get so amped up because you look at it from the perspective of that, and I'm like, wow, if this guy had a semblance of football IQ and acumen, he would have kicked points. You're on the road.
Points.
You could win that game that you shouldn't have won.
Because you kept getting down into field goal range.
Exactly.
That's the issue.
It's unbelievable.
That's like when we were in the prep bowl here in Chicago. Before the state playoffs came, the prep bowl was the ish. There were 100,000 people back in the 50s and 60s. All right, it's lost its luster, obviously, due to the state playoffs and more schools and whatever. We were down in 2010. I was the defensive coordinator for Curie High School. And we had a guy who was the head coach and a great offensive mind. And the one thing that I liked that he did is we had packages. I mean, we had packages. We had the big package. We got the running package. We got the throwing package. And sometimes the players were the same because our athletes were so good. You know, just a couple of switch outs here and there.
Right.
And he's like, you know what, this drive we're just gonna run down their throat. You know, next drive we're gonna five yard them to death. Okay. We played in the prep bowl, and it's the luster's gone, but it used to be the thing.
Right.
And we played Fenwick High School. and they don't have the athletes. You know, it's a Catholic school. They don't have not even a quarter of the athletes that we have. We're in the red zone 5 times, Phil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like bruh man from the 5th floor. 5 times we're in the red zone. Okay. And we had the all CPS kicker, the number 1 kicker in the city. And he refused to kick field goals. We lost that game 6-0 because he refused to kick field goals in the red zone 5
Pride gets
times.
in the way.
Yes.
Pride, and you said it before. He's trying to be the smartest man in the room. He's trying hard. Like, come on, man. It's about, at the end of the day, it's blocking and tackling. It's catching and dropping the football. And it's taking and choosing points. I mean, that's the lesson there. Football is much like life. It's about choices. You got to make those right choices. And if you don't, you got to learn from your mistakes. That's the problem with Nagy. He just doesn't learn from his mistakes. And the perfect example, and this wasn't even in this last game, is Cordarrelle Patterson on 4th down.
Mm-hmm.
You're opening up the 100th season against the Green Bay Packers on Thursday Night Football. The world is watching. And you are running a dive play on 4th and 1 with Cordarrelle Patterson, right? Remember? And they stuff it. Kenny Clark comes flying in there with Daniels. That's the end of that, right? So the very next year, this year, 4th and 1, what does he do? He doesn't learn from his mistakes.
Nope.
He doesn't say, let's go action off this.
Sneak out
the tight end. Yeah, let's sneak him out there. Nope. He tries it again. It gets stuffed. The guy can't get out of his own way. And at some point, I don't care about, there's no cap, like I told JJ, for coach. There's no cap. The McCaskies, $25 million for them. That's like us going to McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're billionaires. They have so much money from that team, they don't even let you know how much they have.
This whole BU thing now, to me, just looks like an identity problem. It's like, man, Nagy.
Oh, it's.
Like, do you have an identity? Like, do you have to remind yourself to be yourself? Now I'm just picking at it because it's like,
it's
how do you not adjust? How do you not adjust? How do you refuse to adjust? And on top of that, we heard about the tight ends coach talking about something about how he does it.
Oh my God.
Shane.
His zone and how he's going to attack. It's not about your players whatsoever. What type of selfish motherfucker is that? Like, you don't care about your players. Your players are the ones with the talent. Your players go out there and put their bodies on the line. Your plays aren't going to make this shit happen. The players are. And if you don't have the skills, what good are your plays?
Dude, you freaking crushed that point. Shane Marsaw, my partner over at Tape Never Lies, I literally was talking to him a few hours ago, and I didn't know about this Barone comment, about this because he was talking about Komet, and that unveiled, and they're almost like scrubbing the internet. You can't find it.
Yep.
But he has a screenshot of it. So Barone says this, and I'll be paraphrasing. Ivan did a better job, but he does not. And this is elementary NFL football because they're the elite. They're the best. Even when we joke and we say, well, this guy stinks, this guy's awful, they're still the best in the world at playing football. So what is your job as an offensive coordinator, number one, as a head coach, number two? It's about finding the matchups, Ivan. And that's using your players, not your plays. Your plays don't find the matchups. You, watching film, say, oh, we got a great mismatch here. If we go into trips and that back tight end, they're putting this linebacker who's 5'10" against our 6'5". That's the matchup we want to get to. So let's trade. And what is a trade? I'll tell you quickly. A trade. So you line up in one formation, and then you all move at the same time. You're allowed to do it. And you trade to the opposite side of a formation. Or it could be a completely different formation. And you force that defense to get into the matchup that you scouted, knowing that you're isolating on that position. They're literally telling Nick Foles, you run our plays. Don't look for the matchup. Look for the coverage and throw there. And that's the opposite of the Belichick, the Parcells, Walshes, all of them. So huge unveiling of the curtain, Shawn, in Barone's comments. Unbelievable.
You get there, you get to the point where you sit there and you look for, first of all, you have to understand your talent.
Exactly.
Who do you have on your squad that's a stud? Okay. And it's not even necessarily a stud, but who can you create a mismatch with? Oh, I got a 6'7" tight end. They're going to put a linebacker at, or a DB, a 5'10" DB. I don't know about you, Phil, but if I got a 6'7" tight end, former basketball player versus a 5'10", hell, even a 6 foot DB, I'm going there all day.
Absolutely.
I'm going there all day, and I'm doing everything. And from that now, I say, okay, well, these are the plays that I can shift. So now I got to see how they move, how they maneuver. Okay, how they shift? Do they roll? Do they stay man? Do they travel with the certain? Do they travel with them? Okay, so this is what I want to do. So now that I understand what they do, I'm going to make them do what they want to do, and you know what? It's going to be beneficial for me. I should say I'm going to make them do what I want them to do, and say, okay, so I'm going to get that mismatch, and I'm going to get my 6'7" tight end on their 6 foot corner, their 5'11", 5'10" corner every single time. I'm sending a fast guy if it's a single high safety.
Yeah,
I'm sending a fast guy right at that safety, because if he leaves to go for that mismatch, well, guess what? And I got a fast guy. You're no way you're coming back. It's a touchdown.
Exactly.
If he's occupied there, which is the whole plan. Now I have a 6'7" versus 5'11" guy, and I'm going to do it every single time. I will tell you what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Stop it.
Stop it. Think about
it.
this. As Shane again said, there's been one play they've run these tight ends straight down the seam. One play on a season. Think about that with 6'7" and 6'6" with Kmet. Two athletes. Even Demetrius Harris is 6'5" and an athlete. He hasn't proven with his hands, but you have these athletes, right? And you're not running them down the seams. The one time they did was against the Saints, and they got a penalty in the end zone. It puts them at the 1 yard line, and there you go. Because you have a 6'7" guy on a 5'9" guy, and he's raping him in the end zone, and the ref has to throw the flag. That's called intellect. That's finding the matchup,
and
run them down, exploit it. Oh,
hey Phil, we want to show you this tape.
Yes.
We got to show you this one tape, and we're joined by the draft doctor himself, Phil Toshin, from the Tape Never Lies Network. And we have the clip that you talked about, and it doesn't get any more indicting than this for Matt Nagy.
Yeah, and listen, it's very important for everyone to understand. There's a big difference between being a coach and being a teacher. A coach that cannot teach is a failure. A coach that doesn't know how to build relationships with their players is a failure. A coach that doesn't know how to communicate with their players is a failure. A coach that cannot adapt or change their scheme to the type of talent that they have is a failure. And right now, Matt Nagy in Chicago is a failure. He can't do any of that stuff in Chicago. Stop. This is the offense that you wanted to run. This is the offense that you wanted to run from Kansas City. It's not working. You don't know how to adjust to the talent that you have. I said it all the time on Chicago radio last year. Fit your offense to Mitchell Trubisky. Well, you didn't want to. So you went and got Nick Foles. And now you don't have an offense that will work for Nick Foles. This is like a marriage. When you try to change your spouse to exactly what you want, it's going to end up bad. And you're trying to change all your players to exactly what you want, because it's the only thing that you know in Chicago. And now this is headed for a divorce. Matt Nagy, as a coach in the NFL, is a failure because he can't teach.
It is actually a full organizational failure because he took over. They hired him knowing who the quarterback was.
That clip courtesy of ESPN. Is there one shred of of untruth that he said? One word. Give me an A. Give me a the. Is there one word that's untruthful of what that dude just said?
No, I've been saying the same thing and part of me, if I come off a certain way, but I've been saying this for 3 years now. I could see it on the tape that they're not teaching. I send my breakdowns to offensive line coach and offensive coordinators. I got the #1 high school football coach in Connecticut, Thomas Brocken and Ansonia, looking at what the Bears are doing. And it's unbelievably lost on stupid. It really is. It's like, you can't make this up. I have to go watch other teams in the NFL to see, could it be this bad because of the CBA? Could it be this bad because they're not practicing like they used to practice in fundamentals? Get on the goal line. Let's go goal line for 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that. No. Connecticut boy, Danny O, same rules apply. Played right in our league, the Housatonic League in Connecticut. Played against my dad. Kid had an arm. Right now, he's got some knowledge. I've been saying the same thing. Matt Nagy, the teacher. You can't teach people to play a sport together with cohesiveness if your motto is be you.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you go to be you, your culture becomes different because everybody, and Shawn, you've been in a locker room. I was at Hofstra University. There was kids from Texas, Florida, Jamaica, California, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and all of them had different nationalities, different upbringings, different ignorant takes, admittance, tears, emotion, things that they're carrying with them. You can't be you. You have to learn to be us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the baseline issue. And I should record that and put it as a speech because that's the reality of what's going on.
I got
Matt
you.
Nagy.
I got you. I'll take that. I'll put a whole montage on it. I'll like the Lady Liberty. You'll see like the hip mountains and shit. I'll put the whole thing to it.
Right off the top of my head, I know I'm a teacher. That's my talent. I teach. I show people. I've gotten letters from people from around the world that don't know the game. They're not afraid. That's the problem. I got to be first. I got to be the first to break the news. I got to be the first to have the Jordans. I got to be the first to have the PS5. I got to be the first troll in this. No, it's not about being the first. It's about being correct. It's about being righteous. It's about being vulnerable. That's what a teacher does. There's no more difficult job. My wife's a teacher. She's an English as a second language teacher to kids that don't know, that come from other countries or nationalities that are learning English for the first time. It's a very humbling and rewarding job, but it's a very difficult job. And that really needs patience. So my wife isn't telling them, be you. I'll tell you that. She's telling them, we have to learn to be us. You're gonna beat this. You're gonna understand it, and you're gonna be a part of a culture and a new community, and you learn through that. To me, it's so disheartening because I love this franchise, this team, those colors, the stadium, the city. They deserve better than this. And until they get that guy at coach, even at GM, you can replace this guy too. Mm-hmm. But more importantly, the coach, until they get that guy that's like a Shawn Superback, that loves it, that breathes it, that every waking... Listen, I'm not going to question Matt Nagy's work ethic. That's not what this is. I'm questioning his understanding of what Danny said. Being a teacher and putting aside what you think is right and doing what your players would do right. What he did to Mitch Trubisky, you could say whatever it is you want about. I know what I saw on tape and Mitch Trubisky. There's a lot of talent there to unlock, but you have to do something to make Mitch Trubisky. And I said this on the show. I'll leave you with this. I said, if Kyle Shanahan was the head coach of the Chicago Bears, people would be talking about Mitch Trubisky like he was Patrick Mahomes, because that kind of offensive philosophy get in the eye, boot action, run, hold everybody accountable, block your man, waggles, screens, throw the ball off,
Naked.
action down,
Yep.
nakeds. Look at this crap you're seeing with the freaking action game. Boomer Esiason would freaking go down to Matt Nagy's office and murder him. Like, put the ball in the belly, finish the action. Look at that play, Ivan. Nick Foles is running action, and the freaking edge defender just runs right at him. He got fooled. He just sacks him. Nick throws it into because there's no mesh. There's no teaching. There's no accountability. And that's the truth. And until it changes.
There's a guy that was on staff with us, and he said something that a coach had imparted on him, and I thought it was the most apropos thing for football. He said, if you take care of all the little things, there are no big things.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like my dad, honestly.
Take care of all the little things. There are no big things.
Especially in football.
Where's your foot placement? Where did you hit first? Did you strike first, or does he strike first? Is your ass in the hole? Is his ass? You know what I mean? All the little things, and there are no big things.
Exactly.
And that's exactly it. And that's not taught for that's not taught. And I don't understand if he gets it. But I'll tell you what. Here's a guy, and I got the next Bears GM. He is a great friend of mine. We actually went to high school together. He went to Tulane.
Yes.
Is Mark Sadowski.
Oh,
Mark Sadowski.
He's very well respected.
Hell yeah, dude.
And around here.
Mark Sadowski is my guy, dude.
He was doing 40 times at Southern Connecticut State University.
No way.
And I saw him with his watch, and I'm like, oh, you're a Bears dude. And I was going to graduate school at that time.
Uh-huh.
And I was there, and I was like, oh, Bears, a big Bears fan. I go, you're a scout? He's like, yeah, Mark Sadowski. And he was timing players. What a nice guy. And I've heard a lot of great – I don't know him. I met him. But I will tell you this. I've heard a lot of great things about him. And listen, Shawn, tell him, put Draft Dr. Phil's resume in. You will be a part of the staff. I'm putting the staff together. I'm serious. Because if we have to do it, let's just give it one shot in our lifetime to change this around. And that's really the thing. You can't find the person that just wants a job. And I said this to JJ. Don't give me this crap that Matt Nagy didn't want Mitch Trubisky. He knew what he was getting into. He knew what was there, and he asked for that. All these other narratives and blog boys writing this story, well, he never wanted Mitch. He wanted this. You don't know what he wanted. He wanted that job more than to work, teach, and create something better. Now, he can look in the mirror and own that and change course. He has that as a human being. You learn from your mistakes. You take ownership of it. What I'm seeing, as Ivan has said, in those pressers is a guy that's fighting back against the reality of truth. Mm-hmm. And that's really how you get out of town, because your foundation and your culture is going to crumble. And that's really where it is right now. It's unfortunate. The tape doesn't lie. Shawn, you guys are the best. I love you guys.
Awesome, buddy.
I love you guys.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. It's great stuff. And I'll reach out to Mark, because I'm telling you, Mark, I remember when Mark was working with the Saints, and he was Ditka's right-hand man. Yep. And he said when Ditka traded everybody for Ricky Williams, he goes, I couldn't believe what the fuck he was doing.
No one could.
He's like, what? I was like, you sit there. He goes, dude. He goes, I had no idea. I goes, what am I supposed to tell the coach? Like, you're an idiot. Like, what am I supposed to tell this guy? You know what I mean? He's like, all right. He goes, our draft's done. We're good. And he was just like, dude, he talked to us about Matt Forte. He's like, yeah, I got a running back I'm looking at down on, because he actually went to Tulane.
Yeah.
That's where Forte went, Tulane. And
Darnell Mooney.
Yep. And so I remember me and my buddy Kenny was a former agent. I introduced them because he was an agent, and then he was, and Mark was a scout, obviously, and just to kind of get them around. And man, he told us about so many different the guys he was looking at and stuff like that. I was like, dude, like, this is awesome. Like, and this is the guy, and he's a Southside kid. He's from Bridgeport, right down the street from Sox Park.
Nice.
And this is in. I mean, he's the guy that you said don't hire him for the guy who wants it for the paycheck or for the. He wants to be. This guy is a guy who loves Chicago Bears football, who grew up watching Chicago Bear football. Sat there, watched the '85 Bears, watched the following season of the Bears and Giants, and on opening night, and that beautiful display of skull splitting football that it was. You know what I mean? The prior two Super Bowl champions. This is a guy who loves football.
That's what you got to find.
That's why I want him to get rid of Pace, keep Sadowski as the general manager, and he's Italian like you. And I'll tell you what, he will hold people accountable. He will hold people accountable, and that's all you can ask for. Right, wrong, or indifferent. As a teammate, if you hold everyone accountable, you know, like Jimmy Johnson said, I don't treat everybody fairly. I don't treat everyone equally. I treat everybody fairly. And if you know, and if you see certain people get held accountable, but you realize, hey, that's a stud running back there that we have, and okay, he got got to sit out the first half of the game because he did something stupid, as opposed to sitting out the whole game, which other guys would have gotten. But you understand it's a business. You're like, wow, he held the running back out for the first half of the game because of this. You talk about gaining respect as a coach. Or as a decision maker, that's the way you gain respect. So, hey, Phil, great stuff, Papa. We'll talk to you next week.
Always, man.
I'll be texting you throughout the week just to shoot the shit, man.
Absolutely. Always text me. Ivan, you're the man. If you could send that to Shane, that'll be great. And Bears Hour Live on right after the game on Monday night. My dad, the coach, is going to come on the show with us, too.
Coming on, nice.
Yes, he's going to come on and break down Minnesota versus the Bears. Hopefully you're there, Shawn. I got to bring you back on the show. I love you, man. There's just the great vibe, keeping it vulnerable, family. That's what it's about. God works in mysterious ways, man.
Yes, he does.
Thank you for having me on again. I love this network. I love what you guys are doing. Good people. Real recognizes real. That's what it is.
Game recognizes game. I won't say the next line, but that's all right.
Yes. Love you guys.
All right, Phil. Thanks, buddy.
Later, guys.
Guys, that was the draft doctor himself, Phil Atoshin. I borrowed a little line from Jay-Z there, but I was like, let's not say the next line. But yeah, it's good stuff, man. I love the fact that he comes on his lunch break. He comes on his lunch break to sit and talk with us. But I'm telling you, Ivan, thank you for putting that video up. I mean, Dan Orlovsky you talk about there's not 1 ounce of untruth that he said. He goes, fit your, what are we even saying? What have I been saying? Fit your scheme around Trubisky. Fit your offense around Trubisky. Do what this guy does. Remember, I said I think Mitch could be in that second tier. Of above average quarterbacks. He'd be in the middle. Yeah, in the middle of the pack somewhere in there.
That Alex Smith spot.
Yeah. And you don't think you could do a hell of a lot with Alex Smith? You're damn right you can. With this defense, heck yeah. But Matt Nagy refused to do that. And when I saw that, and remember that's why I tagged you on. I'm like, dude, we got to use this. We got to use this because this is so apropos.
Right, and Armando's absolutely right. He goes, he's running more rollouts for Foles than he did with Trubisky. Yeah, it's so ass backwards to me. Why you did? It's like you didn't trust Mitch, or you didn't want your offense to be dialed down. You didn't want to adjust your offense. He didn't want to change a thing with his offense.
Nope.
He wanted Mitch to change to his offense. So when you're trying to fit square pegs into round holes, what do? You get nothing. If you just get a cluster mess that you can't fix. Now you got a flat-footed Nick Foles who can't move. Dude, it's worse than a Frankenstein when you see Nick Foles try to move. It is robotic. And I'm talking about an unoiled machine. That's what it looks like, an unoiled machine. It's Foles running the ball. And, he's been out-coached for like 3 weeks. Actually, I believe the entire season he's been out-coached.
Yep.
And the past 3 losses, I mean, there's been zero adjustment, Shawn. I mean, zero. In 3 losses, zero.
That's the problem.
And no end in sight.
Nope. Well, listen, 3 hours is come and gone. We had a great show. I want to thank my guests, Joseph Phillips, who sits in every morning from 9 to 10. I want to thank Matt Anuko from the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast. I want to thank Jason Palmer for sitting in as well. I also want to thank the draft doctor himself, Phil Toshin. I want to thank my guy. You see him on the screen next to me, Ivan Vargas, as well. I also want to say thank you to our executive director, Elliot Baez, our social media guy himself, Clarence Council III, my lovely co-host at Absentia, Maya, Kai. Guys, all of us put us together. We made it. That was a really, really, really good show. I love it. I love it. I love talking sports. We're going to take a 69-hour break, and we're going to come back and talk. Get ready. It's going to be game day when we come back on Monday. Monday night, the Bears play the Minnesota Vikings on Monday Night Football. And we're going to have a pretty good Bears game, heavy Bears pregame that day. So I'm excited for our show that day. So I'm excited about it. It's going to be, should be pretty fun. So for my lovely co-host in absentia, Maya Kai, and my guy, Ivan Vargas.
Yes, you guys check out the Humidor Sports Podcast tomorrow at noon. And then check us out on Sunday at 11:30, same time. The Basement Monsters podcast with me and Luke. We're going to be breaking down 4 big games in the NFL. And then, of course, join us again. We're going to be on What's Up Cuz with me and Michael Halitek before the Barely pregame show on Monday. Then following that, another Basement Monsters Game Day podcast. So we're going to be
damn, dog, you busy as a mug.
That's what I do, man. This is what I do. Like when Obama hit that 3. This is what I do. This is what I do. So,
yep. Hey, well, listen, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. If you have not found or downloaded our app, please download our app wherever you get it from. It's called SportsZone Chicago. Wherever you get your apps from, Amazon, Google Play, iTunes, whatever. Make sure you also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please do that. And then like us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, SportsZone Chicago. Please do that. Please do that. Please do that. We appreciate all your support. You guys tuning in every day that we're on, and we wouldn't be anything without your support, and we're truly thankful for it. So for my lovely co-host, for Ivan, I'm your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra. We're taking a 69-hour break, and I got 2 words for you. We out.